fans will try to capitalize on the turmoil. John Cruz, KTSA News.
A classic rock legend is no longer with us.
The English singer, songwriter, and guitarist Dave Mason co-founded the band Traffic in the late 1960s. That song became a staple, covered by more than 24 stars, including Joe Cocker and the Jackson 5. Mason made his solo debut in 1970.
There ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy.
He racked up 3 gold albums. Mason was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his work with Traffic. 2 years ago, he postponed a tour over a serious heart condition. A spokesperson says Dave Mason died at his home in Nevada. He was 79.
That's correspondent Deborah Rodriguez. KTSA News Time is 6:02. It's time for KTSA Sports right here with Rob Thompson.
In the NBA, the Spurs fell at home to Portland last night, 106-103, but they lost more than just the game. All eyes are on Wemby's cranium. He went down in the second quarter and is in the concussion protocol. Also, Harrison Barnes out with an arm injury, and Dylan Harper re-injured his thumb in the loss. The Spurs weren't the only 2 to go down. The Philadelphia 76ers surprised Boston in Boston, taking them 111-97. In NBA coaching news, not only is Billy Donovan exiting the Chicago Bulls, but rumors around the Warriors are that Steve Kerr is not expected to return as head coach, barring a change of heart. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
KTSA Time Saver Traffic, and we'll get a look at KTSA AccuWeather up next on 550 KTSA and FM 107.1.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and then sell the old one later. Hi, Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. It's exactly what I did. Then Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
At the Law Office of Sean C. Brown, we treat you like family. This is Sean Brown. I've been representing members of the community for over 25 years. From a DWI to auto accidents, call me today, 210-224-8200, or visit SeanBrownLaw.com.
Need a new AC? Right Home Services has a complete install, up to 3 tons, for just $89.99. It's Martin Bomba from the KTSA Rock and Home Show. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000.
Hi, Trey, Ware here. If you have pain and limited movement, you're not able to do the things you love to do, but you're not interested in surgery to get better, then contact my friends at Evolve Medical Group. They do PRP, stem cell, hormone replacement, and so much more. They even do primary care at evolvemedgroup.com.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
KTSA News Time is 6:05. Standing water still an issue in some parts of San Antonio. Debbie Alcacer takes a look right here. KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Good morning. Just cleared that trouble spot. That wreck on I-10 westbound WW Wide was taking up a couple of lanes. Now clear. 1604 eastbound at Northwest Military Highway on the frontage road. We do have a stall. It's off to the shoulder. Some flooding continues on 35 frontage road northbound, southbound, Frostbank Center to 410. And then on 90 frontage road westbound between Callahan to Military. That's also closed due to high water at Leon Creek. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
Rather cloudy and humid today with the high of 80. Not a very comfortable night under mostly cloudy skies. It stays humid. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. A cloudy start to Thursday. Clouds and sun in the afternoon. Warm and humid. The high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
Got some light drizzle and a temperature of 66 degrees at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 107.1.
7 minutes after 6 on Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. He's still posting videos. You can check all that out at KTSA.com. We're also streaming live on KTSA.com and YouTube and all that stuff. And wow, where do I begin? You know, I had a stacked show for today when I left the building yesterday. Just on what I had from yesterday when I left, with Tucker suddenly apologizing for supporting Donald Trump and the Southern Poverty Law Center and all the nasty stuff we're hearing about them. There was a whole bunch of stuff I could have talked about just from yesterday alone before I got home. And since then, obviously, we've had all kinds of things go down. We're going to talk about all of it. First and foremost, based upon the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. President Donald J. Trump. And then he went and read the Bible at the Bible Museum. We have some audio from that. We'll play a little later on. Earlier in the day, he had posted on Truth Social that the sticking point, and then we'll get into the leadership business and all that stuff. But the sticking point is they want the Strait open. They want their ports available because they're losing about $500 million a day in oil profits and profits in general from having the blockade obstruct those ports and keep vessels from rolling in. Trump is not going to open the Strait. He knows that's one of his bigger bargaining chips is their economy. And he says, and we heard this off and on all day, that, you know, you basically got several groups of people who are vying for leadership, in a sense, in Iran. As I understand it, based upon what I've read, it's two. You got a group of folks who are the scattered remnants of whatever moderate thinkers you have in that country who want to work with the president, want to work with Israel to some extent. And then you have the leftovers of the Republican Guard, who are a-holes, and they have all the guns. And according to Trump, you don't have a unified proposal. In other words, one set of folks who claim leadership want to work with this, come up with a peace plan, a ceasefire deal. And the other group, they're just holding on white-knuckled to their insanity. And I see Riccardi's point. Jack had said this a few days ago when we were talking, and he said it on Jack and 60 on his afternoon show, that the people we're dealing with in Iran, the bad guys in Iran, are playing the long game. They know that we have a short attention span in this country. We don't have much of an appetite for war in general. Americans don't like war. Nobody likes war, except the guys who are still trying to kill people in Iran. They love war. Most people don't. Riccardi's idea being that, you know, you just keep putting this thing off and eventually the Americans will cut bait. I don't know how successful that'll be with a psychology like Donald Trump. But certainly today, and I haven't, heard a lot of commentary, obviously, this morning. Sometimes I purposefully stay away from commentary because I want to focus on what I think about stuff more than anything else. But certainly the left are going to be screaming their brains out today about how there's no plan for this. He's stumbling through this. He's got no way to get out. He's weak. Remember the last time we extended a ceasefire or declared a ceasefire? Actually, when this 2-week ceasefire went into play, the very same people who were calling Trump a warmonger were the very same people that next day after the ceasefire was called who were calling him a chicken, Taco Tuesday. I guess yesterday was another Taco Tuesday, James said to me on the way in. And you know what they're going to be rolling with this. As far as what I think every time he extends this ceasefire, it works against him. And we know why he's holding off. Now, I agree. I'm sure, leadership is fragmented, scattered. It's, as we were saying yesterday, it's pretty much based upon who's still freaking alive. As far as what constitutes leadership in a place like Iran, which we have blown the crap out of over the past few months. But, at the same time, if you start taking out the bridges, taking out the infrastructure, you are ultimately hurting the people of Iran who are under the boot of this soon-to-be former regime, we hope. So obviously he doesn't want to go start blowing up bridges and power plants until he absolutely has no other choice. And as we're led to believe, as I just read you from his own Truth Social post, he was asked by the Prime Minister of Pakistan for this ceasefire because there is no, quote, unified proposal. So we'll see. Again, I pretty much can predict where the media are going to go with this, obviously. It's a dicey game of chess. I don't in any way, if I hear that he didn't have a plan and this was not anticipated throughout the course of the day, my opinion on that hasn't changed. Donald Trump does not strike me as a kind of a person who goes into anything without a plan. I'm sure this was an anticipation. Or there was anticipation once you get to this place. Now, maybe he didn't anticipate having to get to this place. Maybe he figured before he has to start blowing up bridges and power plants and infrastructure stuff that they'd already have a deal. I don't know. But it doesn't make him look good. Huh?
They absolutely had a plan. That's why JD didn't go.
They had a plan to, what do you mean? The Iran had a plan?
Trump and the delegation that was supposed to go, they never left.
They didn't leave, yeah.
They were planning all day yesterday.
Right, they were supposed to leave yesterday morning. But again, that was contingent on the idea that there were going to be talks and there was going to be some kind of plan to offer or be offered from Iran.
Elaine, get closer to your mic. We can't hear you.
What's that?
I can't hear Elaine. She's too far off the mic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go.
Can we hear everybody now?
Okay.
Because they were set to take off yesterday. And we kept saying yesterday morning, they haven't left yet. They haven't left yet. Why is this? Well, it's because apparently there wasn't any kind of proposal on the table. So you're not going to send JD out there and Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff if they don't have an actual deal that you're going to talk about. So I don't know. My support of what he's doing hasn't changed. I still think this is the right thing to do. And I think this will come to a conclusion at some point. But I don't know that yesterday was the greatest day for the president in that regard. But, well, I want to open up the phone lines, too, throughout the morning, and we'll get your thoughts on this. What do you think about an extended ceasefire? Are you disappointed in the president like Tucker? Oh, we'll get there, Tucker. I didn't hear about that. I'm not somebody who hangs out, listening to podcasts for the most part. Like I said, I try to focus on what I think about stuff. And I really haven't followed Tucker since he left Fox News, honestly. But he apologized yesterday. I heard about this first on Jack and 60, where he apologized for supporting Donald Trump and helping him get elected. We'll talk about that. We'll play some audio from that a little later on. And a whole bunch of other topics. 2-1-0, and the Spurs, yes. Wembanyama has a concussion. So the sports world here in San Antonio is heartbroken.
Well,
he's got a long way to fall, man.
He's going to be out for at least one game for sure.
Right.
He hit his head pretty damn hard on the floor, dude.
I saw the video, yeah. I mean, it was a smack, man.
It's a long way to fall.
That's what I'm saying. He's a tall guy. I just said that. He's got a long way to go down. That's right.
He tried to get up at one point, and then he was like, oh, nope, can't do it.
Right. So Spurs fans are sad today. Sad face emoji. 2-1, and we wish him well. We're not wishing, making fun of his concussion. 210-599-5555, 17 minutes after 6 on Newstalk 550 KTSA. Yes, there we go. Mostly cloudy and warmer today. Maybe some fog this morning, so be careful if you're out and about. Maybe a thunderstorm later on, a high of 80. Mostly cloudy overnight, a low of 69. Tomorrow, humid and cloudy with a high of 85. 65 degrees right now on Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have this trouble spot on 1604 Frontage Road eastbound at Northwest Military Highway. Disabled vehicle, it's onto the shoulder. 35 on the Frontage Road between Frostbank Center and 410 Ben Zegelman, northbound, southbound. So both directions closed. We've got flooding from Salado Creek and flooding from Leon Creek on 90, Frontage Road westbound, Callahan to Military. That is closed. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about this early morning, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out. That number is 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Observe closely.
The Jack Show.
The biggest cultural phenomenon in America.
This afternoon at 3.
Why don't you give it a try?
On News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
When you want the best, when you want a metal roof that doesn't cost that much more, that is truly lifetime quality, that's backed up by a company with years and years and years of experience, and that's what Southwest Metal Roofing Systems is all about. But it's not just the metal, it's the workmanship. They do it right the first time, every time. They can give you the best warranty in the industry because they never have to come out and do anything. It's getting close to 20 years since they put the roof on my home up in Bernie, and I've not called them with a single problem. You have a lot of choices. If you don't like brilliant standing seam metal, you can have your choice of about 20 different colors. I chose red, and the story behind that I won't go into. But you can also have roofs that don't even look like metal, look like ceramic tile or slate or shake shingles. Southwest Metal Roofing Systems does it all at amazingly reasonable prices. Learn more? Give them a call. 210-822-6868. That's 210-822-6868 for Southwest Metal Roofing Systems.
Find a way to get away now at Crestview RV. Enjoy the open road and the great outdoors in a brand new, well-equipped Jayco J-Flight travel trailer. Just $12,995 or $116 a month with approved credit. See dealer for details. CrestviewRV.com.
Guests of Ware and Rima appear via the Stevens Roofing Newsmaker Hotline.
And again, we are on KTSA.com. We got Gunslinger tickets to give away later on in the programming. Family 4-packs to see the Gunslingers at their home games. We're also on YouTube, and Starship Trooper 32 asks, Sean, can you take us out to the courtyard for your smoke breaks? I actually don't smoke when I'm doing the whole show.
I was going to put you smoke in the back. Jimmy smokes in the courtyard.
Right. I don't smoke in the
And I ain't
courtyard.
following your ass around.
No, you're not. And if you see us there, we got the full frame there. Sitting in for Trey is a stuffed animal this week. It's the Tasmanian Devil, or Taz, with a tinfoil hat on. So we'll get his thoughts a little later on what he thinks about the ceasefire and the Southern Poverty Law Center, Virginia. In fact, Jonathan Hayward is joining us at 6:36 from Breitbart.com, and we'll ask him. So in Virginia, the referendum passed. They're going to redraw the district lines. They have 11 districts. And I'll read you the language of the ballot question, what voters were asked in this referendum. Jonathan Turley was on with Hannity last night. I was watching that before I went to bed, and he was talking about how we kind of kicked it off here in Texas with our district line battle and what's happening in California and Virginia. And Jonathan Turley made a good point. He said, because they're saying it's temporary. It's a temporary thing. We're going to go back to the old lines at some point, which is absolute bullcrap, according to Jonathan Turley, who is a much smarter person than I am. That once you draw those district lines, it is not necessarily an easy thing to just go back to the old lines. In other words, they're pretty much there forever. Here was the question voters were asked in Virginia. Now, Donald Trump didn't win Virginia, but I think he got about 46% or something like that. In other words, there are Republicans in Virginia. There's the odd conservative in Virginia. They're like there. 40-odd% of them voted for Trump. And yet Virginia voters were asked this question: should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness? Now think about that language, to restore fairness in the upcoming elections while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census, because they're supposed to do it every 10 years after the census. You do a census, you find out who's out there, and then you can properly represent the people of your state with these district lines. But that's not what happened here. And again, it's kind of a loaded, the term I keep hearing is, it's a bit of a loaded question. Should we adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness? That is not an objective characterization of this question. While ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future. They have 11 districts. I think it's 5 to 6, I want to say, something like that right now. But the way they're going to draw the lines, you're going to have basically 10 reps, Democrat reps, and 1 GOP congressman. 1. If you look at a map of Virginia at the proposed district lines that this is going to codify essentially or make happen, it looks like a 9-year-old went over it with a crayon and just with a blue highlighter. I mean, you look at these solidly red districts in Virginia, and all of a sudden you have this big horn-shaped spike going all the way through the district that's colored blue. It literally looks like a 9-year-old did it with a highlighter. And you can see with your own eyes what they're doing. I mean, God.
Isn't this just going to go to the Supreme Court like the other redistricting
ultimately,
cases?
Yeah, it's going to be it's automatically going to be appealed.
Yeah,
I mean, Jonathan Turley was like, this will be appealed immediately, obviously.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see, but they're doing it, and the idiots voted for it. The silly rednecks voted for it. Well, not you people in Fairfax County. I'm sorry I called you rednecks in Northern Virginia. Sorry. Don't mean to lower your property values. Actually, it's you people that are largely responsible for this crap. It's actually not the rednecks. It was a bad characterization. The rednecks are the ones getting screwed in Virginia.
Take 2, action.
I'm from Maryland, so we consider everybody in Virginia rednecks. All right, 210-599-5555. Let me tell you about my friends at Here in Texas. It's exciting stuff coming up with the folks at Here in Texas. As you know, both Trey and I have the hearing aids. We've had these for a couple of years now. It's really improved my life. I don't have a profound hearing loss problem. I have a problem with surface noise and crowded places. And when I went to see one of the great audiologists at Here in Texas, she fixed me up with these hearing aids that kind of cut out all that extraneous noise. Here in Texas is also going to be a part of the New Braunfels Senior Expo Thrive After 55 Plus on Wednesday, April 29th at the New Braunfels Civic Center. It's a free event, and they'll be offering free hearing screenings at the event. So if you just go and hang out, you get a bag of cool swag from Here in Texas, and they'll test your hearing, again, at the New Braunfels Senior Expo Thrive After 55 Plus coming up Wednesday, April 29th at the New Braunfels Civic Center. If you want to talk to them and schedule an appointment otherwise, 830-360-2000, or look them up online at hereintexas.com, HEARNTX.com.
Ware and Rima, on air and online every morning.
And actually, they become hot as a pistol, so what can I tell you?
Watch the show weekday morning 6 till 10, only on KTSA.com.
Hello, San Antonio. Ready to spring into summer with your own piece of the Texas coast? This Saturday, don't miss the spring one-day coastal land sale right off beautiful Matagorda Bay, just a short drive from San Antonio. Or one day only. Grab 1+ acre coastal properties starting at just $59.9 or $49.9 with cash or 1031 exchange. And wait till you hear this. Bayfront property starting at $129.9 or cash price of $119.9. That's right, Bayfront living at unbelievable prices. This gated community has it all. A waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, covered boat slips and private launch, paved roads, underground utilities, and agriculture exemption for low taxes. These deals are for this Saturday only. Call now to reserve your private tour. 210-853-0389. Ask about huge day of discounts with cash or 1031 exchanges. That's 210-853-0389. Don't wait. Own your slice of the Texas coast. A short drive from San Antonio. Call 210-853-0389.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. Stan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Upgrade your backyard with the custom patio cover from Precision Windows and Doors. Call us at 210-596-6588. PrecisionWindowsSA.com.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
A ceasefire is extended between the U.S. and Iran, but what does that mean for oil prices in the days ahead? Replacing current Fed Chair Jerome Powell could be a bit more complicated than expected. And the 10 Commandments are going up in Texas public schools. Details on these stories and more coming up at 7 o'clock. KTSA News Time 6:32.
Good morning. For the most part, in good shape. This report sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Now, we do have a stall at 410 eastbound at Evers. It's off to the shoulder, so main lanes are getting by. 90 eastbound, 211 to 410. That's filling in, slowing down. We do have a stall at 1604 on the frontage road eastbound right at Northwest Military Highway. If you have questions about youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA builds better athletes and better people through sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Rather cloudy and humid today with the high of 80. Not a very comfortable night under mostly cloudy skies. It stays humid. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. A cloudy start to Thursday. Clouds and sun in the afternoon. Warm and humid, the high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
Right now, 67 degrees and a dense fog advisory in place at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
News Talk 550 KTSA FM 1071. It's Ware and Rima. Just Sean right now. Trey is off this week. He'll be back on Monday. He's also posting videos on KTSA.com if you want to check those out. And we are joined by Breitbart.com's Jonathan Hayward, author of Dr. Zero Year One. Jonathan, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, busy. It's a little bit of a busy news day. Now, right off the bat, I want to get your thoughts on this extended ceasefire. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if extending the ceasefire is going to do a lot of good for negotiations. President Trump seems to think it will. I think part of the problem is that the Iranian government has fractured, and the people that are talking to Trump are in the civilian government, but they really don't have any power or authority anymore. The military is taking complete control of the country. Those are the people that are really calling the shots, and those guys don't seem like they want to show up for any peace negotiations anytime soon.
Now, they're largely the Republican Guard guys, right? So these are the real hard cases, the guys that are left.
Right. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, yeah, those are the guys that are basically running the country. And really, they kind of always were. They own and control most of Iran's assets, but they were nominally subservient to the mullahs, and the mullahs had set up this sectarian government to handle some of the running chores, and all that's basically over now. And the Iranian president has reportedly been frustrated to the point of hysteria that nobody will listen to him, and he can't even get them on the phone.
Right. Now, you know what happened when he announced the ceasefire initially. You know, it was Taco Tuesday. He was a chicken. The same people that said he was a war freak, now we're saying he was a chicken for not going to war. Now, we can predict where this plays out with the media today, but does this ultimately hurt support for our actions in Iran?
Well, all conflict is a test of will. And you have things that look like bad news, like you had Iran attacking a bunch of ships in the Strait of Hormuz today, 3 of them. They appear to have kidnapped 2 ships, taken prisoner. I mean, that doesn't look good, and that's naturally going to affect popular opinion and make people feel bad about it. And when you have successes and things like that, people feel better about it. So whatever Trump does next, if he wants to win back popular support, it needs to be something that looks like a win.
Yeah, he needs to blow some stuff up, perhaps. I was breaking down in my simple cave dweller's way. I was breaking down what happened in Virginia yesterday, which obviously this will go to appeal fairly quickly. But give me your sense of these district lines. I mean, I said when you look at the map of Virginia, it looks like a 9-year-old went over it with a blue highlighter, going into all these red districts. What are your thoughts on what happened with the referendum?
Democracy was hacked to death with a machete in Virginia last night. It's a crime scene. It's not a redistricting plan, and it would be absurd if any court allows this to stand. It would be ridiculous. But we know how courts are these days, and who knows where it's going to go. But I think this should be the permanent proof that when you hear a Democrat talking about defending democracy, laugh at them. They don't care about democracy. They care about power, and this is a raw exercise of partisan power, disenfranchising millions of Virginians, just straight telling them you don't get to participate in democracy anymore. That it's an absolute outrage, and there's no way it should be allowed to hold.
Well, and when you read the actual language of the ballot question, you know, and there's the fairness word is inherent in the question. I mean, it's obviously a loaded ballot question that gives the idea that somehow we're balancing the scales. People are low info. They don't think about things too deeply for the most part, and they see that, oh, sure, I'm all for fairness, and so they run with it. Is that what happened here, you think?
More or less, yeah. They use deceptive language to get some people behind it. There's a lot of raw partisanship behind it that got it over the hump. Who knows what else they did? I mean, that was why it was important to have something like the Save America Act, but that appears to be dead in the water over in the Senate, despite 80% popular support. So just think about that. You know, got a voting fairness bill. It's perfectly reasonable that 80-odd% of Americans support that can't possibly get passed. And on the other hand, you have this ridiculous Marxist redistribution plan in Virginia, you know, that looks like South American communists staging a coup in the 1970s, and that's fine. You know, nobody's concerned about that, and nobody seems to be willing to stop it.
It's like an alternate universe we're living in, Jonathan. Like, none of this stuff makes sense. Now, you're right. I mean, as far as the Save America Act, what they're working. I was reading about the conciliation bill and I guess some funding for ICE and Homeland Security while they attempt to dismantle it, but nothing about the Save America Act. You're not hearing anybody talk about that right now.
No, the last I heard is that John Thune, in charge of the Senate over there, wasn't even going to think about bringing it back. So it's effective dead as far as anybody can tell, which again is just amazing. The most popular legislation in a generation, and it just died in the Senate, even though the party that nominally supports it has the majority, because they just don't use their power, you know. And this is the thing that depresses people who are Republican voters. It's one of the things that's really going to hurt them in the midterms, is the sense that even when they're in office, they can't get anything done, but the other side will just grab power with white-knuckled fists every chance they get, and they don't care what laws they break. They don't care what norms they shatter. No, they don't care about being polite. They don't care about showing respect or reach across the aisle. When they see power and money, they just take it, and they don't care what stands in their way. But if you're a Republican voter, you watch your own party defeat itself on an 80-20 issue over and over again.
Guys, I forget who was saying that yesterday, that, you know, time and time again, they talk about all these great, to get elected, they talk about all these great things they're going to do, but then when they have the capacity to do it, they don't do it at all. Is this really the swamp protecting itself in a sense?
To a large degree, yeah. It's the swamp, the permanent deep state, the entrenched bureaucracy. Those are powerful interests, and there are powerful business interests that support that sort of government racket. They're all linked together, and they have influence. And some of those interests have enough money and enough pull to influence Republican politicians, and that's why a lot of them are suddenly AWOL. When it's a big vote, the left has a lot more foot soldiers who will just do what the party tells them to do. And the left, if you haven't noticed, the Democratic Party has skewed insanely far to the left and is disintegrating into wild activism. So when the party tells its marching orders to do something, it's not good for America. But they just go ahead and do it.
Well, and we're talking with Jonathan Hayward from Breitbart.com, and you know, as far as the Save America Act, I mean, psychologically, going into the midterms, the fact that that nothing is happening with this, and as you said, you know, the numbers are off the charts as far as across the board support. Psychologically, people are going to be going into the midterms saying that idea that it doesn't matter is even more reinforced on a deeper level, I think.
I think so, and it's a pity because there are so many issues the Republicans could run on. You know, the midterms are all about enthusiasm, and additionally, the party in power doesn't do well because the other side has the enthusiasm, the opposition, and they usually do well. That's the rule of midterms, and if you're going to break that curse, you need to generate enthusiasm on your own side. And they keep having issues dropped in their laps that would do that, but the Republican Party is timid, AWOL, or half-hearted about running with anything that they could actually take to the American people and say, here's why you're crazy to vote for a Democrat. And God knows it's not hard to make the impression, to make the argument that any working, law-abiding American is insane to vote for the Democratic Party at this point. But the Republicans just are not running with any of those turbocharged, high-powered issues. And you can't just talk about them. You got to do something about them, even if it doesn't work. Even if you bring the vote and it fails for some reason, you can go to people and say, we tried, we really tried, and they'll believe you. And instead, what they wind up doing is never even fighting the fight. But then they go to their voters and say, well, you know, you got to believe us, we kind of really wanted sort of to do this, and we sort of tried. You don't get people excited that way. You know, people don't march to the polls for you when that's your argument.
I think it's depressing for folks. You know, I mean, this has just gone away, basically. We got a lot of stuff I want to try to get your thoughts on today. Very busy news day. We have an indictment now against the Southern Poverty Law Center. At issue is I think $3 million, that some of which may have gone to the KKK and the Aryan nations. I mean, you can't make this crap up. The things I keep hearing, they had informants inside the KKK, and so this is how they learn about racism so they can fight it. But then you were hearing opinions that, Well, no, actually, it's about, in a sense, creating acts of racism that the center can then go in and fight by working in coordination. I mean, all alleged. But what are your thoughts on these charges?
This is another reason why it's absolutely insane to give money or power to the left, because they do this every time. Every time they have money or power, they use it to manufacture crises they can run against to get more power. Remember Barack Obama and his gun walking scandal? Exactly the same thing. Barack Obama and his Attorney General, Eric Holder, were bringing guns across the southern border on purpose and putting them in American cities so that they could run around and say, wow, America has a gun crisis. We really need gun control. They didn't care who they hurt. They didn't care who they endangered. They didn't care how strong criminals got. They just wanted their power. And this is something the left will do every time you give them any kind of money or influence. They'll use it to get more money and more influence. And the fastest way to do that is to build a straw man and set them on fire. And that's what the Poverty Law Center was doing.
So allegedly they're giving money to skinheads in the Aryan nations and the KKK so they can continue doing Aryan nations and KKK stuff, so that then they can come out and say, we're fighting these KKK guys and these Aryan Nation guys, basically.
Exactly. Exactly right. Like a theatrical performance, which is not only a danger of leftism, but also a danger with putting theaters in charge of politics, which is what we have. We have a lot of these high-strung, emotional, people that are in charge of our politics and culture now. This is the kind of thing that they do. But this is a big problem. And the media is not doing a great job of telling you how influential the SPLC was. They weren't just an think tank.
Right.
They were practically a branch of the government. They were incredibly influential with the deep state, with large corporations in America. They were getting people's lives destroyed just on their say-so. They were the primary engine of censorship during a time when the Biden administration was in power. So, I mean, these guys were really important, and what they did is one of the biggest scandals in recent memory. And I have a feeling what you're mostly going to get from the media for the next few weeks is damage control, not an assessment of what they were and what they did.
No, this is Donald Trump targeting his enemies and the like. One more thing for you. Tucker Carlson apologized yesterday for supporting Donald Trump, or the day before on his podcast, and he apologized for misleading people and helping Donald Trump to get elected both times. Interesting turnaround. What do you think's going on there?
Well, and then he went home and banged a couple of pots and pans together and shouted, "Look at me, look at me!" Exactly. And you know what? I don't want to look at him.
There's
no
either.
reason to pay attention to Tucker Carlson or anybody else that's doing this stuff just to get attention. You'd be more discriminating than that. People have an appetite for drama and for theater, and people have learned how to exploit that. So many influencers have learned how to exploit people's hunger for the dopamine hit, cheap thrill, the little burst of controversy. There's a whole industry making millions selling nuggets of controversy, and again, very often, as with the SPLC, a lot of it's manufactured. It's a grift, and people need to stop paying attention to grifts. We have serious things we need to deal with in the country, serious debates to be had, and people that are clowns do not belong in that discussion.
Well, and our guy, my colleague Jack Riccardi, said yesterday that, I think it speaks for all talk radio people who are being honest and being objective, okay? If you spent years and years supporting Donald Trump, and then all of a sudden you're saying, oh, I was wrong, why? This was what Jack asked. Why should I believe anything you say from this point forward? There is no reason.
Right, and there's a thing about politics where it's hard to change your mind or hard to apologize or something like that. If you're going to change your position, and people do from time to time, they rethink matters, you have to do a good job of explaining why. And you have to explain both why you made the wrong decision and why you have now changed your mind. And you'll notice these grifter types that change their spots on the drop of the hat are not good at that. They end up coming up with, theatrical, sensationalistic reasons for why they supposedly saw the light, instead of giving you a rational explanation for why you should have believed them then and why you should still believe them now. It's hard to do.
It is. I have this image of Tucker banging those pots with a couple of sparklers. Look at me with that stupid girly laugh of his. Jonathan Hayward from Breitbart.com. Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure, man.
Thanks very much for having me.
Welcome. Let's take a little break. It's Ware and Rima on News Talk 550 KTSA. Mostly cloudy and warmer today. Some fog this morning, so be careful. Might see a thunderstorm later on. A high of 80, mostly cloudy overnight, a low of 69 tomorrow. Humid, cloudy, a high of 85, 65 degrees on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, for the most part in good shape. This report sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. No major incidents going on right now. Now, we do have a stall at 410 eastbound at Evers. It's now off to the shoulder. A closure on St. Mary's, both directions, northbound, southbound, right around Euclid. A police investigation currently underway. Tobin Hill area. And the 90 eastbound between 211 to 410. That's starting to fill in. Slow down. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP or MADD.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Right now, with the purchase of a Connecticut, you receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. Call Connecticut and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
When you want the best, when you want a metal roof that doesn't cost that much more, that is truly lifetime quality, that's backed up by a company with years and years and years of experience, and that's what Southwest Metal Roofing Systems is all about. But it's not just the metal, it's the workmanship. They do it right the first time, every time. They can give you the best warranty in the industry because they never have to come out and do anything. It's getting close to 20 years since they put the roof on my home up in Bernie, and I've not called them with a single problem. You have a lot of choices. If you don't like brilliant standing seam metal, you can have your choice of about 20 different colors. I chose red, and the story behind that I won't go into. But you can also have roofs that don't even look like metal, look like ceramic tile or slate or shake shingles. Southwest Metal Roofing Systems does it all at amazingly reasonable prices. Learn more? Give them a call. 210-822-6868. That's 210-822-6868 for Southwest Metal Roofing Systems.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details,
Every leader feels the pressure to do AI, but rushing in leads to leaks and wasted budget. Bridgehead IT starts with a full AI assessment to secure your data and find where AI actually moves the needle. Stop guessing. Lead with confidence at bridgeheadit.com. Trey Ware here. There's more to Mummies than just feed. They are South Texas firearm headquarters with the great brands like Benelli, Horizon, Montana, Weatherby, Colt, Sig, Glock, and so many more. And all of the accessories. Mummies has everything. Mummies and Hondo.
Domestic violence is one of the most widespread crimes in Texas, yet one of the least reported. When someone walks through the doors of the Battered Women and Children Shelter, they're looking for safety. Help exists, and it's closer than you think. Christie's Hope supports the shelter with housing, trauma recovery, and long-term aid. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. If you or someone you love needs help, visit christieshope.org.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Today's Pledge of Allegiance, powered by Stevens Roofing.
Hi, this is Governor Greg Abbott. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we're back. News Talk 550 KTSA. It's Ware and Rima. Trey's off this week. You just got me, Sean, on YouTube, KTSA.com. Trey's also posting videos every day, so he's still commenting on what's going on. He'll be back on Monday. And I don't know yet if I'm going to play the Tucker audio at some point or if I just don't even want to give him that much. Tucker Carlson, we were talking to Jonathan Hayward about this. I got to riff on this just for a second. Tucker Carlson on the latest podcast or whatever the video show, YouTube, whatever he does, he's now saying he's sorry he supported Donald Trump. A lot of this is based on Iran. That he's sorry for misleading people for so many years about Donald Trump. And he feels that he's a meanie head, and I shouldn't have done that, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Jonathan Hayward said, I asked him about that, and Jonathan Hayward said, yeah, then he's going to go home to his kitchen, put a video camera on, and start banging pots saying, look at me, look at me. When I just did a 15-second Google search. When Tucker was on Fox News, and it was a great show. I mean, I don't know how much of it was valid at this point. And now I question pretty much everything the guy's done as being genuine. But when he had the Fox News show, he was pulling in a little over 3 million viewers a night for 1 hour. On his video show, the online show he does now, he gets about 1 million folks watching that who log on and watch his podcast. So he's lost roughly about 2 million folks paying attention to what he has to say about anything. And certainly the apology feels like, look at me, start paying attention to me again. I'm Tucker. And Elaine, I know you'll agree with me on this. If I had Carlson's money, if I had Tuck's money, and I had Tuck's, even his podcast, and I'm getting 1 million people, I'm Tucker. He can write a book. It'll get published.
And then he started a channel that Trey subscribed to.
He's got a channel?
That you could watch all his interviews and stuff like that. When he went to Russia.
Right. But, the point being that it does certainly feel like he's trying to, he's just the same level of clickbait as anybody else. I need more clicks. I need to just pay more attention to me. We're all content. I'm clicks. I'm content now.
No, come on. Tucker has all the inside information and knows everything that the government doesn't know.
He's full of crap.
I think he does, but
he probably does. But as far as what he's doing now, I agree with Hayward that it's an attention thing.
Yeah.
It's now people are suddenly talking about me because I did this weepy apology on my little show about how I'm sorry I misled you. He's looking at Iran. He's thinking he's reading the tea leaves. He thinks people are going to start turning against Trump. So I better get out in front of that bus and be against Trump now.
So other than his podcast, all he's done is gone on Colbert, right?
I guess, yeah. I really don't follow the guy.
I think the reflection of where you're getting booked tells me everything about.
No, he's gone on other shows. Megyn Kelly, he's gone on.
Yeah, but Megan's just another. She's like him.
You see what I'm
like
saying? What shows he's getting booked on, Elaine? It's Colbert, so he'll be on Kimmel or
right.
All the people that hate. He might be on The View.
Hate Trump,
yeah, next week he might be on The View.
Trump. Now you mean?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right now he's going to get booked on the national network shows, whether they're daytime TV or Colbert or what have you.
He might be on The View.
That's what James just said. He might end up on The View.
Is anyone listening?
Nah, I just turned it up.
That girly little laugh of his. Is
Yes,
anybody
everyone's
listening?
listening because we've been talking about it for about 3 minutes.
No, but I mean, that girly laugh of his, I always thought was annoying as hell too.
Love it.
Like I always thought that's a put on, dude. You don't really laugh like that, do you?
Oh, Tucker?
Oh God,
Wow,
it's
you
making
guys
my
got
teeth
it.
itch, huh?
You guys got it.
Yeah, but our boy Chris Kroc laughs exactly like Tucker Carlson.
Right.
He does. It's creepy.
Yeah, but Chris Kroc isn't going to go on the air next time we have him on and say, I was wrong about Trump. Please log on to my website, you know.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Well, you know, and I'm the first to say it. I'm pushing 60. I'm 58, almost 50, coming up on 59. I'm old school. If it ain't on TV, I don't go seek people out. It'd probably being a bad talk show host because I don't seek people out on their freaking podcasts. I don't go listen to Tucker on. When he went off the air on Fox, Tucker pretty much disappeared for a guy like me, and that includes about 2 million other people apparently who didn't translate over into the podcast. So there. We'll take a break. It's Ware and Rima. Sean in. Trey's off this week on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Chris, what's the biggest mistake people make with their smart home tech?
Buying pieces without thinking about how they'll all work together.
People get excited about the latest gadgets, but forget about the system behind it all.
That's why we take a different approach at Bjorn's.
We start with your lifestyle, how you live, what you love, and build technology around you.
A home theater enthusiast doesn't need the same setup as someone working remotely or a music lover.
Every solution we create is tailored to your needs, not some one-size-fits-all package.
That's the difference between just having tech and having the right tech.
And when everything's designed to work together, it feels effortless.
You stop fighting with your system and start enjoying it.
Whether it's entertainment, lighting, privacy, or all of the above, we make it work.
Come experience what personalized technology really looks like in our showroom.
Because if it's technology,
it's at Bjorn's, just Bjorn's.
Need a new AC? Right Home Services has a complete install, up to 3 tons, for just $89.99. It's Martin Bomber from the KTSA Rockin' Home Show. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000.
Hi, Trey Ware here. If you have pain and limited movement, you're not able to do the things you love to do, but you're not interested in surgery to get better, then contact my friends at Evolve Medical Group. They do PRP, stem cell, hormone replacement, and so much more. They even do primary care at evolvemedgroup.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is San Antonio's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock, KTSA San Antonio. I'm Christian Blood. President Trump is extending a ceasefire with Iran, but that doesn't mean the two sides are close to making a deal to end the conflict. Trump says Iran hardly has a government, but
they're playing just as hard as President Trump does, and they're not backing down. And it seems to give them a certain amount of determination. The more he tries to cajole and push and threaten, the more they dig in.
That's correspondent Courtney Keeley. Trump says the U.S. naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz will continue, and that cripples the Iranian economy. It's no secret President Trump's not a big fan of current Fed Chair Jerome Powell. But as he's under investigation, his potential replacement might have a hard time getting nominated, at least for the moment.
Senator Tom Tillis, remember, he is vowing to block the nomination of Kevin Warsh while there is an ongoing investigation into current Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. And Tillis, again, really emphasized that he'd like to vote for Warsh and like to get him confirmed. But while that investigation of Powell is ongoing, he will not be able to give that yes vote.
Correspondent Kelly O'Grady. An investigation underway after explosions in 2 houses last night on the north side. First one happened around 6 o'clock. That one sent 3 people to the hospital. Then around 8:30, another explosion just 2 doors down. That explosion sent 2 more people to the hospital, and a total of 3 people were reported in critical condition. San Antonio Fire Department thinks a buildup of natural gas caused the explosions. Several homes were evacuated, and there's no word on whether any other homes might be in danger. A federal appeals court is upholding a Texas law requiring public schools to display the 10 Commandments.
The legislature passed Senate Bill 10 last year, and it mandates that every public elementary and secondary classroom post a copy of the 10 Commandments. A lawsuit tried to argue that somehow the law violates the First Amendment. In its ruling on Tuesday, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals disagreed. The court says the law doesn't violate the amendment because it doesn't punish anybody who rejects the 10 Commandments. Stacey Keene, KTSA News.
Time now to get caught up with KTSA Sports, sponsored by Connecticut Quality Water Systems. And here we go with Rob Thompson.
In the NBA, the Spurs fell at home to Portland last night, 106-103, but they lost more than just the game. All eyes are on Wemby's cranium. He went down in the second quarter and is in the concussion protocol. Also, Harrison Barnes out with an arm injury, and Dylan Harper re-injured his thumb in the loss. The Spurs weren't the only 2 to go down. The Philadelphia 76ers surprised Boston in Boston, taking them 111-97. In NBA coaching news, not only is Billy Donovan exiting the Chicago Bulls, but rumors around the Warriors are that Steve Kerr is not expected to return as head coach, barring a change of heart. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
KTSA News Time, 7:03.
I love my Connecticut water softener. Dave here, and yes, I own a Connecticut. Other water softeners just can't measure up. So if your old unit keeps breaking, leaking, or burning through salt, stop paying for frustration. A Connecticut doesn't run on electricity. It powers itself using your water flow and only cleans itself when needed, not on a timer. And Connecticut backs its efficiency claims with independent testing through the Water Quality Association. Connecticut protects your plumbing and appliances. It helps dishes and fixtures stay cleaner and leaves your skin and hair feeling better. And right now, with the purchase of a Connecticut, you receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. For clean, pure water 24/7, call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE, and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
ConnecticutSA.com.
License number 38961.
Trey Ware for Dr. Sally and everybody at Here in Texas. They'd love to see you, talk with you about your hearing, and possibly prescribe hearing aids for you to help you hear things you've never heard before. They really are amazing at Here, H-E-A-R, HereInTX.com.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
You've worked your whole life to build that wealth. Have you protected it from lawsuits, probate, and predators? Voller Law Firm specializes in preserving family wealth for generations. Call 210-338-6983 or go online, vollerlaw.com. Tell them Joe Pag sent you to the Voller Law Firm.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
KTSA News Time, 7:05. Time for a quick check of KTSA Time Saver traffic.
Good morning. We are working a couple of stalls. 35 northbound at Eisenhower, right shoulder, and a stall at 410 eastbound Evers, left shoulder blocked. Starting to fill in, slow down a little bit along 90 eastbound, 211 over to 410. Should take you about 10 minutes or so. And we do have a closure with some police activity going on right now. Police investigation, North St. Mary's, northbound, southbound, right at East Euclid. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
The humidity remains cranked up the next couple of days. Rather cloudy today with a high of 80. Mostly cloudy tonight. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. Cloudy start to Thursday, then clouds and sun for the afternoon. The high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
Right now, 67 degrees and a dense fog advisory in place at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected. News Talk 550, KTSA and FM 1071.
News Talk 550, KTSA.
It is Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. He's still posting and giving his thoughts on the website, KTSA.com. We just posted a video that I did this morning in my car when I got here. If you want to check that out, KTSA.com. Also going to be giving away some Gunslingers tickets a little later on in the program. We got some family 4-packs for you. All we got to do is call us up. That'll come up in a little bit. But it's a very busy day, and it feels like just about every break, every segment we have here, I'm going to be devoting to a major story. First and foremost, as far as the ceasefire, Axios is reporting this morning that according to the president, the ceasefire will last anywhere from 3 to 5 days, so they're not looking at something that's going to go on for weeks and weeks. You heard from Jonathan Hayward, and Fox News has been reporting this for a while, that Iran seized a couple of ships in the Strait overnight. So that's where we are with the ceasefire, which allegedly came to the president at the behest of the Pakistani prime minister and essentially his field officer. That we can't. Leadership is so fractured in Iran. You have various groups vying for leadership over that country, and they can't come up with to use the president's words, a unified proposal, which is the reason for the extended ceasefire, which, again, we're hearing now is going to last between 3 and 5 days. So I don't know. It's kind of like a game of chicken, I think, in a sense. We also had Kevin Warsh undergoing questioning at the Senate Banking Committee. He is Trump's pick to lead the Fed. If you're a Democrat like Elizabeth Warren, you're pretty much going after the guy for being a puppet of Donald Trump, who has said just recently that we should have the lowest interest rates on the planet. And I guess the implication is that you put Kevin Warsh in there, and he'll do the evil president's bidding. Warsh, for his part, said he is objective and he will, make up his own mind about these things should he be appointed. He is a former governor of the Federal Reserve. He knows his stuff. But again, if you're a Democrat, you're going to go after him for being a puppet of the Trump administration. Then we have yet another congressperson resigning over ethics issues and allegations. I'm not even sure if I'm saying her name correctly. Shafilus McCormick has resigned pending a House Ethics Committee investigation that she used out of Florida, a Democrat out of Florida, that she basically used taxpayer money and campaign funds or campaign donations. No, I'm sorry, FEMA funds. I get my Congress people mixed up with who they're ripping off. She is directly accused of laundering FEMA money, a few million in FEMA money, to support her own campaign, I believe, and also for her own lifestyle. Rerouting much of the proceeds to fund her 2021 congressional campaign. She also bought a Tesla at some point. Got some nice clothes, I think, allegedly. All this is alleged, of course. But when the Ethics Committee was about to start, hauling her ass before Congress, if you will, and asking some pretty pointed questions, he decided to resign. I hereby resign my office from the 119th Congress as representative for Florida's 20th Congressional District, effective Tuesday, April 21st. Yet another example of a Democrat who is ripping off the very people she claims allegedly ripping off, to have run off with money meant for people in need. If you're talking about FEMA money, what are you talking about? You're talking about people who are in the midst of a disaster. It's money to help them rebuild their lives, to get them out of a bad situation that they had nothing to do with, usually an act of God. And that's the money allegedly she's buying Teslas with, and allegedly she is laundering, apparently through several different bank accounts and organizations, to fund her own congressional campaign. Now, it's all very swampy. I think what we're living in an era where we're really learning, and this is Republicans too. We have Republicans getting scooped up in this stuff too, where we're really going to start to learn just how deeply the money river flows into the swamp and into people's personal lives and bank accounts. People in our government make a lot of money by in my opinion, ripping off the very people they claim to be fighting for and supporting. We've seen this, obviously, in Minnesota, in California, where you have hospice organizations that don't exist, daycares that don't exist. Minnesota, I mean, the corruption was so corporate, if you will, that I believe it went all the way up to the governor, knowing that was going on and deciding not to do anything about it because he wanted a Somali vote. So it's politics and money. Money and politics are really what fuels our country, in a sense, or the people that we elect to positions of influence and power. They're not serving the public, they're serving themselves, and this is just one more example. Now, you hear me ask this question all the time, that who do you got to be? You know, who do you have to be? Who do you see looking back at you in the mirror if you're Sheila McCormick out of Florida and you're allegedly laundering millions of dollars in FEMA money? And because look, at the end of every day, at the end of every corruption, okay, there's a choice. People make choices. You don't stumble, hit your head like Wembenyama, and find yourself in some corrupt endeavor. To get there, you got to make a series of freaking choices. And the series of choices that you make have to involve at some point you saying to yourself, I think I'm going to rip off some of this money for my own benefit. And then you have to go forward with it. And what we're seeing in the second coming of Trump, in a sense, is the corruption is truly being revealed. The curtain is being ripped aside, and we're seeing just how deep this corruption goes with our elected leaders. I mean, again, she is accused of laundering. Now, think about that term for a second. Laundering. What does laundering involve? These were allegations leveled against your former president, Joe Biden, and his family. Laundering money. You pass the money around so that the origin of the money at some point is concealed by how much you move the money around. Why? Because you don't want people knowing where the money came from, obviously, because you're stealing it. And I don't think McCormick, she's just the latest example of something that we're learning about every single day. Now, it's not something you and I didn't know it was going on before, right? You and I have always known that politicians are corrupt scumbags who live very luxurious lifestyles based upon you and I handing over our money. But I think what we're seeing now, and she's just the latest example, is just how organized and profound this is. And by profound, I mean vast, how many people within our own government are engaged in this kind of behavior. And when you really start to embrace the scope of corruption in our government, it's breathtaking. Because, first off, it's obviously been going on for a long time to grow to the institutional level that these things are at. I mean, you don't just launder this money, allegedly launder money from FEMA so that it makes its way into your own campaign and your own bank accounts. Again, allegedly by yourself, right? Other people have to be involved in something like that to take place, which means you got a whole bunch of amoral scumbags who are about the business of ripping off government programs. 210-599-5555. 210-599-5555. Maybe we'll open up the phone lines and see if you have any thoughts either on the ceasefire. Does this affect your support of what we're doing in Iran, or does it make sense to you? Virginia, the gerrymander, whatever's on your brain. 210-599-5555. Going to take a break right now. I want to tell you about my friends at Zintex Remodeling Group. They specialize in bathroom remodels and renovations. In fact, most remodels and renovations with Zintex can take place in as little as 1 day. I like that because I don't like people in my house for an extended period of time. But they're very, very good at it at Zintex. They've been doing it for over 25 years. And they offer free, no-obligation in-home consultations. Now, here's a good incentive for you to give them a call right now if you've been envisioning a different bathroom for yourself in your home. Throughout this month, you'll get $1,000 off or no interest for 12 months on your project. Plus, when you mention KTSA to your design consultant, You'll also receive a free fold-down bench seat with your purchase. Again, right now, get in touch with Zintex. I'll tell you how in a second. You'll get $1,000 off your project or no interest for 12 months. Plus, when you mention KTSA, you get a free fold-down bench seat with your purchase. All you got to do is go to the website and make that appointment today, Zintex.com. That's Zintex.com. As you heard Christian Blood report a few minutes ago, we are in a dense fog advisory right now. So if you're out driving around, the visibility could be pretty bad. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and warmer today with a thunderstorm a little later on. A high of 80. Mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 69. Tomorrow, humid and cloudy. A high of 85 at 65 on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, some foggy conditions. Just be very careful as you head out and about. Do have a couple of stalls along 35 northbound at Rittiman and northbound at Eisenhower. Both of those are off to the shoulder. And then 410 eastbound at Evers, left shoulder blocked with a stall. Rolling slowly, 90 eastbound 211 on over to 410. That's about a 10-12 minute ride. And we have a police investigation currently underway on St. Mary Street, both directions, northbound, southbound at Euclid. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This is the greatest movement in the history of our country.
A movement of news and talk.
And it's just starting.
News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
My name is Tino, and I want to tell you about the Institute for Functional Health. I met Dr. Torres not long ago. I was overweight, my joints were inflamed, and I was in constant pain. I had visited doctors before, but lost all hope because the treatment options were all the same. Surgery or a bunch of prescribed medications I did not want to take. I called the Institute for Functional Health to set an appointment with Dr. Torres. Over the next few weeks, Dr. Torres changed my life. I've lost 30 pounds, have more energy than ever before, no pain, and my labs are perfect. Even my former doctors cannot believe it. I am now 61 and feel like I am 31 thanks to Dr. Torres and his staff. I feel incredible. The results were so good, my wife called the Institute for Functional Health. Dr. Torres has totally changed our lives.
Call Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health for a free consultation. 468-1891. That's 468-1891 for the Institute for Functional Health.
Not a lot of things in this world are free, especially a world with high inflation. But when it comes to financial education, I have something free for you. It's the Creating Richer Lives podcast. I'm Carl Eggers, your host. Find the podcast each week at creatingricherlives.com or on all major podcasting platforms.
At Ponderosa Ranch, your pup is our priority. Boarding, training, daycare, and bathing, we treat your dog like family. With 3 area locations, Ponderosa Ranch can't wait to be your pup's home away from home. Book their next day or stay with us at weloveyourdog.net.
Need a new AC? Right Home Services has a complete install up to 3 tons for just $89.99. It's Martin Bomba from the KTSA Rockin' Home Show. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Joe Pags Show, this afternoon at 5. News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
20 minutes after 7. Oh, my God. David Lee Roth on Ware and Rima. Trey's off this week. You can still see his videos on KTSA.com. I got a new video. David Lee Roth, have you seen him lately? He's nuts. He's crazy. He basically talks his way through his own songs. He's got his own band that plays most of the stuff, does most of the singing for him. And Dave, put on some damn underwear, pal. You're in your 70s now. Speaking of that, we're going to go to the phones here. Jason, hang on just one second. Alan Osmond, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. Oldest brother of the Osmonds has passed away at the age of 76. Very busy news day. Here's Jason. Jason, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Can you hear me, Rhymester?
I got you, man. What's on your brain there? What are you thinking?
Hey, look,
Look, I'm very conservative. I'm not a Republican. All right, those guys are swamp critters also.
I don't disagree.
Hey, I listened to Tucker for a lot of years. All right, and the dude has been spot on a lot of things.
Yeah, he was.
He pissed off Big Pharma. He got fired. Fox let him go. All right. I don't know why he turned on Trump. The backstory is he knows some information. He brings up a couple things we all think about. The Butler assassination went away. Trump took office. Secret Service never did anything. FBI, everything's sterile. Don't hear a peep. Don't hear a peep about the second assassination attempt at the golf course. Don't hear a peep about Epstein. He's saying Israel's got their fingerprints all over this stuff, and our government, they're complicit.
I don't know. A lot of that stuff. I'm not dismissing what you're saying out of hand, but a lot of it sounds Candace Owensy, and I think she's a lunatic and a fame hog. This idea that Israel is behind Charlie Kirk's assassination, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't really see Donald Trump personality-wise as being somebody who could be shoved around even by a guy like Benjamin Netanyahu. Big Pharma, there's a lot of stuff with Big Pharma that I absolutely believe as far as, their potentially evil deeds. But I don't know. I kind of tend to agree with Jonathan Hayward that it just feels like attention grabbing. You know what I mean? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene territory.
Yeah, there's probably they all want attention. That's how they make their money. But the thing is, I haven't heard a peep about Butler. I haven't heard a peep about and everything got sterilized. It's just I still love Trump just because he can't fix everything personally. But I'm going to tell you what, man. If somebody tried to kill you, we'd be thinking, now I'm in charge. Find out what happened.
If somebody tried to kill me, the person you'd have to be worried about is my wife.
And then, a firefighter in the audience was killed out of the deal.
Right.
But all of a sudden, it just disappeared.
Fair point.
Nobody's got. I don't know. It's just kind of the government, man. They're shady, bro.
I agree with you there. I got to run, man. I appreciate the call. The government are shady and is populated by a lot of shady people, certainly.
Well, he was Butler happened under the Biden administration's FBI, CIA, and all that. So there's that. And also the golf course thing that wasn't under his presidency. He wasn't elected.
Right, but both are very strange events that we both believe. I think most people believe neither one of these guys acted alone, especially the guy at the golf course. It doesn't make any sense. His traveling and where to get funding for that.
And he's already been tried and convicted. He's in prison.
Right. I just, this idea that Israel is some kind of puppet master behind the scenes, which is kind of what you're hearing from Tucker. You're hearing it from Candace Owens. I watched way too much Candace Owens over the weekend just to kind of get a sense. Man, she's annoying. That chick is annoying as hell and crazy as a loon. To me, and maybe it's I'm cynical because I am a media guy. When I look at Tucker, I'm not saying that everything that's spilling out of his mouth is absolutely not true. I just find it hard to believe that you were that close. And Tucker's always had connections in D.C. He grew up in D.C. He used to hang out with Hunter Biden. They were neighbors for a while. His father's a CIA agent. So, yeah, Tucker's always been freaking connected, which means he was connected during the ascension of Donald Trump when he was supporting him the first time, the second time. I tend to agree with what Riccardi was saying yesterday, that it seems a little odd after years and years and years to suddenly have this major change in thought about the president.
So then I would pull up Tucker's speeches at some of the rallies and say, tell me what in this speech that you gave you don't believe now.
Well, if you say you misinformed people, which is what he said, it means what you intentionally told them something you knew wasn't true? Is that what you're alleging against yourself? So two things can be one of the two things is true. Either he's genuinely, maybe Elaine's heard something, or he's found out something that he doesn't like behind the scenes.
I think the vibe that he's giving out is that when he was Donald Trump's cheerleader, going to all of those events and saying, yes, he's going to do this, and yes, he's going to do that, and yes, he's going to do that, that after a while, he starts realizing, well, he's doing the complete opposite. We're going into war now.
Well, but a lot of people are saying that right now.
Well, but I don't think he was saying I was misled or.
No, he said I'm sorry. He apologized.
Yeah, he
for misleading you on supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying I misled my own audience on supporting Donald Trump. So my immediate question is, well, what was the misleading part? What part of it wasn't true that you knew wasn't true, but you were going forward with it anyway? Because if you're saying you're misleading people.
I don't think he was on the stage saying Trump's going to do this and where he knew it wasn't true. I think after Trump was in office, he started realizing, wait, he said he was going to do this and he's doing the opposite.
Right.
So that's when he starts feeling like, okay, I was up there supporting him.
Right.
And now he's doing the complete opposite. So I misled my people.
Oh, I got to take a break. I think the only thing we can make that claim on is Iran, and I'll expand on that when we get back. 210-599-5555. Right now, let me tell you about my friends at Trajan Wealth. I've got my 401k all set up now here with the new company. My portfolio manager, Blair, has been asking me about the 401k and possibly, as a fiduciary, opening that up to additional investments. She is a fiduciary. They are fiduciaries at Trajan Wealth, which means they always put your needs first. When you make more money, they make more money. I trust her advice. We've been talking to her for several months now, as I trust everyone I've interacted with at Trajan Wealth. If you don't have a financial plan like me and you're not a financial guy and you need some advice, they're great to go to. If you're somebody with an established portfolio and you want to expand your investments, they're also great to talk to you because their advice is straight up, it's honest, it's objective, and you should set yourself up with a complimentary consultation and begin that conversation. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. I am an actual client. This is a paid advertisement, and additional disclosures are available at TrajanWealth.com. But go ahead and call them at this local number after you visit the website, 210-201-7100.
Ware and Rima, on air and online every morning.
And actually, they become hot as a pistol, so what can I tell you?
Watch the show weekday mornings 6 till 10, only on KTSA.com.
Hello, San Antonio. Ready to spring into summer with your own piece of the Texas coast? This Saturday, don't miss the spring one-day coastal land sale right off beautiful Matagorda Bay, just a short drive from San Antonio. For one day only, grab 1+ acre coastal properties starting at just $59.9 or $49.9 with cash or 1031 exchange. And wait till you hear this. Bayfront property starting at $129.9 or cash price of $119.9. That's right, Bayfront living at unbelievable prices. This gated community has it all. A waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, covered boat slips and private launch, paved roads, underground utilities, and agriculture exemption for low taxes. These deals are for this Saturday only. Call now to reserve your private tour. 210-853-0389. Ask about huge day-of discounts with cash or 1031 exchanges. That's 210-853-0389. Don't wait. Own your slice of the Texas coast. A short drive from San Antonio. Call 210-853-0389.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Find a way to get away now at Crestview RV. Enjoy the open road and the great outdoors in a brand new, well-equipped Jayco J-Flag travel trailer. Just $12,995 or $116 a month with approved credit. See dealer for details. CrestviewRV.com.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
Iran is not backing down, but neither is President Trump. And yet, a ceasefire between the two nations has been extended. Floodwater taking the blame for a man's death on the east side Tuesday morning. Some parts of the same area still have high water standing this morning, so caution advised. And a classic rock legend has passed away. We'll find out who it is coming up at 8 o'clock. KTSA News Time 7:33.
Good morning. Your commute definitely slowing down. This report sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. As you head out and about, we've got several stalls. 35 northbound at Rittiman, right shoulder. Another at 410 eastbound McCullough. I-10 westbound Crossroads, right shoulder's blocked. And another at 410 eastbound at Evers, left shoulder. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
Rather cloudy and humid today with a high of 80. Not a very comfortable night under mostly cloudy skies. It stays humid. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. A cloudy start to Thursday. Clouds and sun in the afternoon. Warm and humid, the high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
68 degrees, some light rain, and a dense fog advisory all happening at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
7:34 on Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. You can check out his videos on KTSA.com. I got a new one up as well. We're also streaming. Hit the website, KTSA.com. About an hour from now, I'll give you a chance to win some family 4-packs of tickets to see the Gunslingers at a home game. It's a lot of fun if you're into indoor football. I'm not a big football guy, but I actually enjoyed it when I went to see the Gunslingers. That was fun. Because that's more a combination of... football and rollerball, you know what I mean? It's indoors. They're slamming into each other. You know, it's a little bit more violent, if you will. Not violent, action-packed. Let's put it that way. And it's very patriotic. They're family-friendly. Go USA. It's a great time. So we'll give you a chance to go to see the Gunslingers. We were talking. I want to get into this a little bit more. Then we'll talk about some other topics circling around the drain, as it were. Some lighter stuff, perhaps. But we're talking about Tucker, and we're talking about that whole cadre of people, whether it's Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson. I just went blank on her name. You just said it a few minutes ago. Blonde woman, formerly Fox. Jeez. Oh, yeah, Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly.
I could see her in my mind. Megyn Kelly, that whole crowd who are now coming out, being more critical of Israel and being more critical of Trump. Tucker did a complete about-face and said he's been, sorry he misled people, or he didn't understand that Trump was not going to do what he said he was going to do. And really the only chip on your side of the table that you have to even really approach that kind of a claim is Iran. Again, I've stolen half my show from McCarty when I was driving home last night, or yesterday afternoon, or yesterday morning, rather, Jack and 60 coming up at 10:05, is that as far as a politician or a president, and I'm paraphrasing, Jack, but as far as a politician or a president, you really can't find a guy who has kept as many campaign promises as a guy like Trump. I mean, what did he say he was going to do that he hasn't done? So he was going to address all the unfair relationships we have around the world, whether they're economic relationships, relationships with international bodies. He's done that. As far as the economy, gas prices are a little high right now because of what's going on in Iran, obviously. But the general cost of living is down. Unemployment is at record lows. People have jobs. Companies are coming back into this country who were overseas or had their operations out of country. He said he was going to close the border. He closed the border. I mean, it's tight, man. Fentanyl deaths and poisonings and overdoses are at an all-time low. He blew up like 3 guys in a drug boat off the Caribbean just the other day. That didn't really make the news while he was blowing crap up or trying not to blow crap up in Iran. I mean, what did he promise he was going to do that he hasn't done? So all these people are acting, this little group of folks are now acting so disenfranchised. The only thing you really have is no new wars. But, of course, the walk around from that is, well, it's not a new war. He's ending an old war. In fact, Trump has been talking about Iran for damn near 50 years. Bibi Netanyahu said when he first met Trump, long before he was president, Trump came up to him and said, Iran cannot have a nuke. He's been talking about China for 30, 40 years. But if you want to characterize Iran as a new war and a new misadventure, so to speak, as they used to say of Winston Churchill, well, then I guess you could sort of make that argument. I don't buy into it. I see what he's doing. This was a guy who had the last administration followed his exit plan out of Afghanistan, which was layered, which got the munitions and all the crap out first, then our allies, then our military. We wouldn't have 13 dead service members, as Trey likes to point out, and we would have gotten out of that war in a much better way than we did. Had Biden just done nothing and followed the plan that Donald Trump had put into place. So he really hasn't started any new wars. I know it's semantics. I know we're haggling over the word new and trying to define that. To use Clinton speak, it depends on what your definition of the word new is. Right? In my mind, and we heard about this here and there during the Biden administration, that they're enriching. They're in violation of their own treaties as far as their nuclear program. They're in violation of the sanctions Obama had placed on them. They were kicking inspectors out of these places. We talked about it on this show over the past few years. And then once Trump got back into office, you started hearing more and more intel about how they're getting closer and closer and closer to a bomb, to the bomb. It's pretty hard to argue against the idea that it did become a national security issue, not to mention, and Trump has said this a million times, you have crazy people who are monitoring, who are in control, basically, through this kink in the the strait, with this tiny little bit of waterway, which looks like a kink in a garden hose. You're letting crazy people who, scream death to America, death to the West, death to the Jews, control a sizable chunk of the world's global oil needs, energy needs, by controlling the strait. So again, every single argument Trump has put up there as far as why we're doing what we're doing in Iran makes absolute freaking sense to me. And no, as somebody who voted for him 3 times, I don't feel like, as a voter, as an American taxpayer and a supporter of Trump, and I do. I'm a talk show host. I gotta think crap through, man. Do I really believe this? That's all I do here is I just figure out what the hell I think about stuff. And I also, like Tucker, have had changes of opinion over time when my thoughts receive new information. It amends my opinion. I got to think differently about a thing. I have not experienced that with Donald Trump Because one thing I don't want to do is go on the air and give you an opinion that's not my genuine opinion that I actually believe. Because what's the point of all this if I start doing that? There is no point. So for me, there's nothing he's done that goes against any campaign promise that I believed in. As far as Iran, it should have never been allowed to continue for 47 years. And yet it has. But I certainly don't see it as a new adventure where we're going into some place we don't belong at all, and for whatever reasons. I don't believe he started anything new. I think he's finishing something that should have been done, again, a long time ago. Not to mention that despite all of the really cool Jew hatred in this country right now, that's where the cool kids are, right? The cool kids are hating the Jews. That's odd to me in and of itself and sad.
We seem to often be saying he's doing what other presidents past have had a chance to do.
Yes.
About the puppy testing, Iran.
Well, think about that. Yeah, the animal testing you got rid of.
All these things that everyone could have done, going back to first Bush, could have been done.
Right. No, I mean, as a voter, as a guy who voted for Donald Trump 3 times, I don't feel disenfranchised by Iran. I think it's a stinking mess. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think at some point he's unfortunately going to have to go, full-on Pulp Fiction and start blowing up bridges. I mean, it's unfortunate if the leadership, whatever that means in Iran, can't pull it together enough to come up with something they can agree to. He's going to have to start going after the infrastructure. And you know what's going to happen. They're going to load every single one of those bridges up with people, women and children, like they did the big bridge when he was going to take out the bridges the last time, before the first ceasefire was announced. But what are you going to do? He's going to have to go there at some point. He's going to have to go after the infrastructure if they don't agree to something. And he ain't backing down on the nukes. He ain't backing down on the Strait.
Well, let's just not announce when and what day we're going to bomb bridges to give them a heads up. People out there.
This time, just don't tell them when you're going to start hitting the bridges. Maybe that's what's going on now. Maybe he's saying, "Oh yeah, extend the ceasefire," and then he starts blowing up stuff real good. I don't know. It sounds to me, based on everything I've read, and I've read several different articles to try to get multiple opinions on this. Sounds to me like the prime minister of Pakistan and whatever leadership they're actually in contact with was like, we don't really know who's in charge, and so we don't know. How do you come up with somebody who can agree to something if you don't know if that somebody is actually in charge?
I nominate Operation Madison County when they blow up the bridges.
Oh, God. Operation Madison County. Oh, yeah, gosh, we're not going to be blowing up covered bridges in Des Moines, We're going to blow up some bridges out there in Iran with those evil mullahs. So, I'm not feeling a little pinched because Donald Trump said he was going to start no new wars, and here we are in Iran. I'm not that guy. I'm not saying maybe Tucker has valid reasons, and maybe these other folks have valid reasons inside themselves as to why they're suddenly turning tail on the president when some of these folks are his most ardent supporters. I absolutely don't believe that Israel had Charlie Kirk assassinated. I really don't believe that. I haven't heard anything credible on why they would want to do that. Why? Because he'd written a couple of critical blogs, gone on his show and said a few mildly critical things. You're telling me that Israel and the IDF and the Mossad are going to come up with some convoluted plot to kill Charlie Kirk and silence him? Because that makes sense. Yeah, Candace, that makes a lot of sense, man. Keep drinking, sweetheart. Whatever you're doing, it's not working for you. Do I like that Iran is still going on, that we're still there, that we're still in this back and forth? No, I don't like it. But then again, there's very little about Iran that I do like. And the way they treat their own people. It's just odd, the American left and the European left to a certain extent. He's kind of damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, right? Remember Taco Tuesday? The night before, new wars. He just wants war because he makes money off war. 24 hours later, he's a chicken because he won't go to war. It's pretty much opposite day for these people 24/7, all year round, 365 days a year. Whatever Trump is doing, the opposite must be the good thing. All right. 210-599-5555. It's Ware and Rima on News Talk 550 KTSA. We do have a dense fog advisory out there this morning. You might come up on a patch of fog and visibility may be bad, so take it easy. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and warmer today with a thunderstorm later on. A high of 80. Mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 69. 65 degrees on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. No major incidents going on right now. This report sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And we do have some foggy conditions in areas, so just please be very careful as you head out and about. Keep those low beams on. We've got stalls at 35 northbound Rittiman off to the shoulder, another at 35 northbound Eisenhower and I-10 westbound Crossroads. All of these stalls off main lanes and off to the shoulder. Definitely slowing down, almost a 20-minute ride on 90 eastbound, 211 to 410. 10-12 minutes, 1604 westbound, Bulverde Road over to Lock Hill, Selma. And a 15-minute ride, 1604 northbound, Calabria up to Houseman. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MADD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP, or online, madd.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Hey folks, this is Carl Eggers. You've heard me for over a decade on the Trey Ware Show. When was the last time you had a real financial checkup? Not a quick chat, not a sales pitch, an honest, personal review of where you stand and where you're headed. When you schedule a free financial checkup with us, you sit down with me personally, not a salesperson, not a high-volume call center. I personally walk you through your current cash flow, your investments, and yes, even your tax return, because your financial life isn't a one-size-fits-all. We actively manage your assets using unique, tailored investments, not cookie-cutter models or proprietary products. And we build comprehensive financial plans designed for you, your goals, your family, and your future. Give us a call at 210-526-0057. That's 210-526-0057 or visit creatingricherlives.com.
Investment management services offered by Cap Trust, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Our current disclosures are available on creatingricherlives.com.
I have Texas Rhino Shield on my home. I love it, and I think you will too. Find out with a free in-home, no-obligation Texas Rhino Shield inspection. Find out if Rhino Shield is right for your home at TexasRhinoShield.com.
Discover the difference that Jesus Christ can make in your life at Cornerstone Church, located at 18755 Stone Oak Parkway in San Antonio. Every Sunday morning at 8:30 and 11 and Sunday evenings at 6:30, join Pastors John and Matt Hagee as they preach the uncompromising Word of God. Can't make it to the church? Cornerstone offers live streaming of all the Sunday worship services. You can find them each Sunday online at jhm.org and on Facebook Live. JHM.org also offers on-demand sermons by Pastors John and Matt Hagee, concerts with award-winning Christian artists, as well as special well-known guest speakers from around the nation and the world. Cornerstone Church offers encouragement for every stage of life. They have special programs for kids, teens, and young adults as well. So bring your family and friends to Cornerstone Church at the corner of 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. For more information, visit sacornerstone.org or call 210-490-1600. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
It's time to improve your home, slow it down, and do it right. Choose a company worthy of your trust and worthy of your family. For windows, siding, and doors, call or visit SouthwestExteriors.com. Southwest Exteriors, the look you love coming home to.
What does it mean to work with one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas? At Thomas J. Henry, it means we can put our team of experts to work for you. Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. The name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
At Ponderosa Ranch, your pup is our priority. Boarding, training, daycare, and bathing, we treat your dog like family. With 3 area locations, Ponderosa Ranch can't wait to be your pup's home away from home. Book their next day or stay with us at weloveyourdog.net.
Body aches and pain. It's hard to enjoy normal activities when you're in chronic pain. Call the Institute for Functional Health and stop pain caused by inflammation. 468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres of the Institute for Functional Health. I can help. 468-1891.
Today's Pledge of Allegiance, powered by Stevens Roofing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Man, we're back. News Talk 550 KTSA FM 1071. Check us out online at ktsa.com. Trey is off this week. He'll be back on Monday. He is posting videos every day, and I'm posting videos. Jack's posting videos. It's all there for you on ktsa.com. And I want to deal with the Spurs just for a few minutes because I know this is a huge deal. It's game 2, right, James? This was game 2 last night of the playoffs?
Yes.
And they were ahead by 30, I think?
No, not 30.
I don't know.
But they were up significantly in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And Wembanyama got injured in the second quarter.
He only played for 12 minutes, they say.
Yeah.
And he bounced his head off the floor.
Right off the chin, and then he hit it the second time. Yeah, no, he hit it like twice.
And as both Elaine and myself pointed out in the opening minutes of the show, he's got a long way to fall. He's a tall dude. I'm not making light of it. And so he's concussion protocol kicked in, and
so he'll be out the next game,
right?
For sure, and that's in Portland.
Portland,
and then possibly game 4 in Portland, he'll be back.
I don't follow the Spurs anymore. I haven't for a number of years. I only followed them for about 3 or 4 years when I met my wife. She was really into the Spurs, as most people are in this town. She doesn't watch them anymore either. When Wembanyama came around, I mean, I'm not a sports guy in general. I like baseball. And roller derby, basically. I don't mind watching roller derby every now and again. I've actually been to a few of those bouts. But I look at a guy like Wembanyama, and it's like, well, he better be good at basketball. He's 9 feet tall. I mean, if you can look down at the basket, you should be pretty good at it.
He's been playing professional ball since he was 15 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
He's 22, so this has been his life. He has always done it.
How old is he?
22.
22?
Yeah.
How tall was he when he was 15?
He was not 7'4", Elaine.
He wasn't 7'4".
Obviously, he wasn't because he grew up. But how tall was he?
6-something.
Wow.
Well, how you guys doing? Huh?
I don't know. It's not his fault. You know, he's just born and then he grows.
Well, I'm just saying when I see a guy because there's a college player I think that I just saw a couple of weeks ago. It's like the tallest college player ever.
He's 7'9".
He's like 7'9". Wow. I'm just saying, like me, it would kind of make sense that I suck at basketball, okay? Because I'm not the tallest guy. Actually, I used to shoot hoops. That's one thing I did as a young man is that I'd shoot. We had a basketball court in my neighborhood, and the guys and I would shoot hoops.
Okay, so
I could get it in there every now and again.
Based on what you said and your body type, you should be great at bowling, darts, billiards, pinball.
They actually wanted me to be a wrestler. I was approached in high school and middle school by several wrestling coaches. My brother was a wrestler, and they said because of my frame, I'd be great at wrestling. Yeah. I just didn't want my face going into some guy's armpit or crotch. I just can't. I couldn't. I'm not a sporty guy.
Yeah.
You're a
I
low center.
I don't want to be crawling all over some dude.
What you're alluding to is that because he's tall, he should be good.
I'm saying he's really, really tall.
We wouldn't see him golfing anytime soon.
No, I mean, if you can kind of look down at the hoop, basically, you should be really good at it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to diminish how actually good the guy is. You know, I'm sure he's really good. He's very good.
Yeah, like
I'm just being a nerd, and I'm being a Trekkie, and I'm being funny, and that, well, he's tall. He better be good at it. If I was really, really fat, I better be a good sumo wrestler. You know? I actually had a third grade teacher who made allusions to the fact that maybe, like, it was one of these classroom things where I think it was in, like, third or fourth grade, and the teacher's like, you can do anything you want to. And this guy was an old hippie. I look back on it now, and, like, that guy was an old hippie. Well, he wouldn't have been an old hippie then. He would have been a young hippie. It was like, you can do whatever you want. In fact, if Sean here wants to be a sumo wrestler someday and he wants to pursue it, he can make it happen.
He's got a low center of gravity.
A very low center of gravity. It gets a little lower every year. 210-599-5555. 210-5. If you want to call us up. Let's take a break. It's Ware and Rima. Trey's off this week. Check out the website, KTSA.com, on News Talk 550, KTSA.
Hi, Trey Ware here. If you have pain and limited movement, you're not able to do the things you love to do, but you're not interested in surgery to get better, then contact my friends at Evolve Medical Group. They do PRP, stem cell, hormone replacement, and so much more. They even do primary care at EvolveMedGroup.com.
It's coming fast, and you don't want to miss it. It's our annual Ewald Kubota Orange Days sales event. A week-long event with the year's best selection and the year's best deals on Kubota tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers. It's a hands-on opportunity to demo and get acquainted with our full line of Kubota equipment. And Saturday, April 25th, join us at any Ewald Kubota location and enjoy free food, refreshments, and awesome door prizes. The Ewald Kubota Orange Days sales event. Don't miss it.
Energy-efficient windows from a local family-owned company. Call me, the window guy, at Precision Windows and Doors, 210-596-6588, or visit PrecisionWindowsSA.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-551-7672.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-551-7672. That's 800-551-7672.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is San Antonio's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 8 o'clock, KTSA San Antonio. I'm Christian Blood. The Spurs could be in some trouble in the NBA playoffs. Rob Thompson takes a closer look coming up in KTSA Sports. As many as 3 cargo ships said to be under the control of Iran after they were attacked. And that comes just hours after President Trump announced the extension of a ceasefire.
We first heard from a British maritime security group about Iranian gunboats firing on 3 passing ships. Then we got confirmation from Iran's Revolutionary Guards. They not only fired on 2 of those ships, but also seized the vessels, saying they were operating without authorization and that one of those ships, the Francesca, was linked to Israel.
That's correspondent Charlie Deagata. There's no time frame set for another round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. More shakeup on Capitol Hill as another member of the U.S. House is calling it quits.
Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick announced that she is leaving her seat immediately, and this happened just moments before a House Ethics Committee was set to vote on whether to recommend expelling her from Congress. Now, the Congresswoman was was indicted last year for allegedly stealing $5 million in FEMA funds for her campaign, as well as for luxury goods and designer clothes. And she denies any wrongdoing, but she still faces a federal trial. And if convicted, up to 53 years in prison. Now, in a statement, Sheriff McCormick called the process a witch hunt and said, rather than play these political games, I choose to step away. But if she hadn't resigned, she could have been kicked out of Congress as soon as this week.
That's correspondent Caitlin Huey-Barnes with that report. Floodwaters taking the blame for a man's death Tuesday morning, at least for now. Calls for help were coming in before firefighters pulled his body out of the water.
24 high water rescue calls in 24 hours. Those numbers from the San Antonio Fire Department as the northeast side recovers from fast-moving floodwaters since Monday night. And the high waters in Salado Creek claiming the life of one man who was seen clinging to a tree. His body recovered shortly after that. The medical examiner will determine the official cause of death.
That's KTSA's John Cruz. Traffic guitarist and co-founder Dave Mason is dead at the age of 79. According to a statement from his family, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer behind the hit song We Just Disagree died peacefully on Sunday at his home in Nevada. Mason wrote traffic songs like 1967's Hole in My Shoe and 1968's Feelin' All Right. And you may have forgotten Mason was briefly a member of Fleetwood Mac back in the 1990s. KTSA News Time is 8:02. Rob Thompson right here, KTSA Sports.
In the NBA, the Spurs fell at home to Portland last night, 106-103, but they lost more than just the game. All eyes are on Wemby's cranium. He went down in the second quarter and is in the concussion protocol. Also, Harrison Barnes out with an arm injury, and Dylan Harper re-injured his thumb in the loss. The Spurs weren't the only two to go down. The Philadelphia 76ers surprised Boston in Boston, taking them 111-97. In NBA coaching news, not only is Billy Donovan exiting the Chicago Bulls, but rumors around the Warriors are that Steve Kerr is not expected to return as head coach, barring a change of heart. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
KTSA Time Saver Traffic and your KTSA AccuWeather forecast up next on 550 KTSA and FM 107.1.
For a lot of people, just hearing the word dentist brings anxiety. Maybe you've been putting it off for years because of fear or because you're embarrassed. I get it. But Dr. Mark J. Williamson in San Antonio has built his entire dental practice around people just like you. At Dr. Williamson and Associates, you'll never be judged, you'll be cared for. His team listens, takes their time, and tailors every treatment to you. And if you're really anxious, Dr. Williamson offers IV sedation so you can literally sleep through your appointment and wake up with a healthy smile. Sometimes taking care of years of neglect in just one morning. So don't fear the dentist. Take that first step toward confidence and health. Right off Loop 410 and Cherry Ridge. Call 210-341-2569 or visit mjwdental.com. That's mjwdental.com.
Mr. Electric makes sure your home has a good grounding system.
A grounding system directs any dangerous electrical current into the ground instead of your home or loved ones.
Call 210-248-2026 or online at MrElectric.com for a free home safety check.
Stop living with floors you hate. At Pride Floors, we bring your home to life with the latest hardwood floors, luxury vinyl planks, and carpet. Expert installation built to last. Visit our showroom today or our website at pridefloors.com. My name is Richard Cavazos at Pride Floors.
Find a way to get away now at Crestview RV. Enjoy the open road and the great outdoors in a brand new, well-equipped Jayco J-Flex travel trailer. Just $12,995 or $116 a month with approved credit. See dealer for details. CrestviewRV.com.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
KTSA News Time is 8:05. Let's see what's happening with KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, definitely slowing down on 1604 northbound Calabria to Houseman. That's a 10-12 minute ride. About 15 minutes, 1604 westbound Bulverde Road to Lock Hill, Selma. 14 eastbound at Eversat stall now off to the shoulder. And we've also got delays 35 northbound Riddiman to 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
The humidity remains cranked up the next couple of days. Rather cloudy today with a high of 80. Mostly cloudy tonight. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. Cloudy start to Thursday, then clouds and sun for the afternoon. The high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
Right now, cloudy skies and 69 degrees at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected. News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
News Talk 550 KTSA.
Six minutes after 8 on News Talk 550 KTSA, FM 1071, also on KTSA.com, where you can see the live stream and also check out all our videos. Trey is off this week. He'll be back next week, but his videos are online, so are mine and Jack's, KTSA.com, KTSA.com. Also, we'll give away some Gunslinger tickets coming up in about 20 minutes. I got some family 4-packs to give away, so if you want to see some Gunslinger action, make sure you're listening again in about 20 minutes. Just to catch you up to date on the big story of the day, the temporary ceasefire or extended ceasefire announced our time about 3 o'clock yesterday is when Trump went on Truth Social. We kind of thought something was amiss because we kept expecting JD and Jared and all those guys to take off, and they didn't. We found out why around 3 p.m. when the president released a statement, and I'll read that here in a second. As of right now, the paramilitary a-holes, the Revolutionary Guard, have shot or fired upon 2 vessels in the Strait. They have seized 2 of those, or I'm sorry, they fired on 3 ships, and they've seized 2. And as you know, about 20% of the world's oil passes through that strait.
We don't know what countries those ships belong to.
I don't believe so at this point, no. We had taken a ship last Sunday that was a ship that routinely hits Chinese ports and carries, still haven't heard exactly what the cargo was on that ship, but we were told, or we read, that it was dual-use stuff that can be used for military. So we don't know. We don't know who they fired on, what vessels they took. But Trump announced this, again, about 3 p.m. our time, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured. Not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. Now, what we've heard just this morning is that the extension is supposed to only last 3 to 5 days. It makes perfect sense to me, and if I'm being objective, it makes sense to me that if you've really been dismantling a country's government with explosives and military action for a couple of months now, or a few months now, that as far as who's actually running the country, I'm sure you have all kinds of disparate groups that claim that they're leadership now. It's largely, I think, between this Revolutionary Guard and whatever folks are left from anything resembling a legitimate government, if you can even call it that. So objectively, it makes sense to me that, well, you obviously have to know who's signing the agreement and if they have authority to do that. But Trump's right. It's largely a destroyed country at this point. So, yeah, I would say the leadership is slightly fractured. Khomeini's son he lost his legs. He's in a hospital. He's not involved. Let's just, say that he ain't the guy, to use mafiosi terms. The problem is we don't know who the guy is. or who's the guy that can sign this and agree to this stuff. Because what you're seeing is one side of, I guess, whatever scraps of moderation you have are saying, we'll work with the United States, we'll give up the nukes, but then you got the crazy guys, the Revolutionary Guard, I'll be calling them the Republican Guard, the paramilitary zealots don't want nothing to do with it. And I think Jack's probably right. I keep referencing Riccardi on today's show, but he had said several days ago when we were doing our crosstalk that it's a waiting game. If you can gum up the works, so to speak, and keep Trump in this netherworld between this space between an actual agreement and the blockade, ultimately he loses support here. As I said the other day, our greatest weakness is our attention span, or lack thereof. People get sick of war. You're hearing more and more people say that he told us he wasn't going to do this, and now we're mired in Iran. And the bad guys know, and the bad guys pretty much know this from China to Baghdad and Iran and Islamabad, is that the Americans have no stomach for war. The longer it goes on, the more support kind of erodes from beneath the president, and his ability to sell this to people becomes more difficult. And as it becomes more difficult to sell to the American people, with the midterms looming, in other words, the bad guys are playing a waiting game. And see if we can wait out the attention span of the American public. And let's see if ultimately people start turning on Trump. Now, Tucker is, we've had a long discussion today on why we think Tucker is doing what he's doing, and sometimes some folks disagree with me. I think it's an attention thing. But you do have people within the MAGA base who have already had issues with a couple of things regarding the president, largely Iran and largely MAGA, whether it's the economy and gas prices as a result of Iran. We talked about that several weeks ago.
Well, what are they going to do? Are they going to go be Newsom supporters?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea where they'd go. I mean, you're right.
I think they're just miffed and, peeved.
They're peeved, and I get it. But we talked about MAGA fractures within MAGA, if you will, when the gas prices went up, even though he told us that was going to happen as a result of what we're doing in Iran. But we need to do what we're doing in Iran. You got crazy guys governing over 20% of the globe's oil supply, and they want to kill us and kill Israel, and they're damn close to getting a bomb. But a lot of MAGA, we talked about it. A lot of MAGA folks were like, hey, man, this is not right, jacking up these gas prices because you're going into Iran, starting a new war. This is not what we voted for. I get that. But objectively, it makes perfect sense that the bad guys in Iran would want this ceasefire back and forth to continue going on, the blockade to continue going on, because the longer it goes on, they know the more he loses support at home. And I suspect they feel that'll give them some kind of, that's their leverage, in a sense. That's the only leverage they really have. I don't know why they fired on these ships in the Strait overnight. I'm not sure, who knows. But the only leverage they really have on their side of the table, the only cards they have on their side of the table, barring any mysterious military stuff that we're not aware of, we talked about that earlier in the week. We have some cards to lay down on the battlefield. Well, that may or may not be true. But you could observe this whole thing and say, well, one bit of leverage they actually do have is what? Time. Time is their leverage. Excuse me, because the longer it goes on, the more he loses support, and frankly, from within his own base. Because we are talking about MAGA people. We're not talking about Democrats who, suddenly went pro-Trump and now they're going anti-Trump again. They've always hated his guts. They'll hate his guts no matter what he does. The independents, they're independent, so they're back and forth and indecisive anyway, in a sense, with Trump. No, you have to erode his actual base, especially if you want to have an impact going into the midterms. Bad guys in Iran know that. Bad guys know. Now, Trump can say he's not pressured by time, which he has said. He said that over the weekend. I feel no pressure to come to a deal. Iran is not pressuring me. Time is on my side, he said on a couple of Truth Social posts. But to what extent that's actually true, well, time itself will tell. But certainly the bad guys in Iran know that is their only leverage, is prolonging this thing one way or the other, because the longer it goes on, the more it hurts Trump. And Trump's the only person they're really worried about, in my opinion. Not that they are great fans of the Israelis and getting their asses kicked in Lebanon, but Trump is who they're most concerned with. Trump's the guy who currently has the strait closed down to Iranian ports. Trump is the reason why they're losing $500 million a day. And so maybe Riccardi's right. It's all about waiting it out, keeping it going. Maybe that's why they fired on some ships overnight. I don't know. 210-599-5555, 210-599-5555 if you want to join us. It is Ware and Rima. Trey, again, is off this week, but check us out online. He's got videos there. I got videos there, KTSA.com. News Talk 550, KTSA. I believe we're still in the dense fog advisory right now, so if you're driving around, be careful. You may come up on some fog rather quickly. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and warm today with a thunderstorm later on. A high of 80, mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 69. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid with a high of 85. 65 degrees right now on News Talk 550, KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, definitely slowing down on 1604 northbound Calabria to Houseman. That's a 10-12-minute ride. About 15 minutes, 1604 westbound Bulverde Road to Lockville, Selma. 14 eastbound at Eversat now off to the shoulder. And we've also got delays 35 northbound Riddiman to 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Breaking news, bold analysis, and the stories shaping our future. News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
Need a new AC? Right Home Services has a complete install, up to 3 tons, for just $89.99. It's Martin Bomber from the KTSA Rockin' Home Show. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000.
Car wreck? What happens next? Thomas J. Henry knows you deserve to get compensated for your injuries. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. The name you know, the firm you trust. Principal Office, San Antonio.
I'm James, owner of Patriot Drive-In Cleaning. Clogged dryer vents are a leading cause of house fires, and it's important that they're cleaned annually. Schedule your cleaning today at cleanmydryervent.org. That's cleanmydryervent.org. Keep your family safe with Patriot Drive-In Cleaning.
Ben Adams Jewelers is going out of business after 56 years. Everything must go. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus take an extra 10% off. Prices have never been lower. Hurry in before it's too late.
Pick up lunch or dinner from John the Greek Restaurant, Moussaka, Spanakopita, lamb chops, hero sandwiches, and Greek salads. John the Greek is on 1000 Oaks at 281 North in the Park Oaks Shopping Center. Call 210-403-0565.
Hey folks, this is Carl Eggers. You've heard me for over a decade on the Trey Ware Show. When was the last time you had a real financial checkup? Not a quick chat, not a sales pitch, an honest, personal review of where you stand and where you're headed. When you schedule a free financial checkup with us, you sit down with me personally, not a salesperson, not a high-volume call center. I personally walk you through your current cash flow, your investments, and yes, even your tax return, because your financial life isn't a one-size-fits-all. We actively manage your assets using unique, tailored investments, not cookie-cutter models or proprietary products. And we build comprehensive financial plans designed for you, your goals, your family, and your future. Give us a call at 210-526-0057. That's 210-526-0057 or visit creatingricherlives.com.
Investment management services offered by Cap Trust, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Our current disclosures are available on creatingricherlives.com.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
San Antonio's conservative superstation. News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
21 minutes after 8 on News Talk 550 KTSA FM 1071. It's Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. We've been so busy talking about the news. I loaded James up with all this audio. We haven't played any of it yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. We got some audio of the president reading the Bible Museum in D.C. They've had basically a 24-hour reading of the Bible. They're going through the entire Bible in 1 week. Mike Johnson was reading over the weekend. And Trump, I imagine he recorded it, but last night was reading from the Bible.
It's 2 minutes and 50.
Yeah, we're not going to play the whole thing.
Okay.
In a little bit, we'll play a little bit of audio. Right now, let's talk to Robert, though, and see what Robert's thinking about all this. Robert, how are you doing?
Good morning, Sean.
Hey.
I think we need to go into Iran, and just plummet them with everything we've got from the air, and just plummet them into submission. You know, we went into Afghanistan. I was like, no, and I'm military. I said, no, we're going to look at the Russians couldn't even do anything in Afghanistan after 10 years and they left. And you're fighting people that just don't have the same mindset as us.
Right.
And the only way to do it is like we did Japan. I'm not saying drop a bomb on them like Japan, but we beat them into submission, and they had the same mindset of how they treated other people, and look how they are today. And if we went to Afghanistan and plummeted them, we would turn out better.
Well, and I appreciate the call, man. Obviously, I think the reason he's holding off, though, is because once you start hitting power plants and bridges, you're affecting the people of Iran. And I appreciate the call, man. The people of Iran who are not the regime, are not the bad guys. They're set upon by their own government left and right. Trump obviously wants, in other words, he wants Iran to survive for the people of Iran. But getting rid of the bad guys may be a little dicier in that regard, and he may have to go bigger with the military ops. Also, just to get off war and all the weirdness going on in the world, you've heard Christian Blood reporting Dave Mason passed away from traffic. I was never a huge traffic fan. Steve Winwood, in my age group, he had that resurgence back in the 80s. I forgot, but until I heard Christian report this, that Dave Mason was pulled into Fleetwood Mac at some point. I'd forgotten about that. Also, Alan Osmond passed away yesterday. He was the oldest Osmond brother. He passed at 76 years of age and was largely credited with doing a lot of the songwriting, I believe. And you really cannot diminish or understate or overstate, rather, who the Osmonds were culturally back in the 60s and 70s. I grew up watching the Donnie and Marie show, and all the Osmond boys would make an appearance they'd be on the show, all of them at some point. There's like 19 of them. I'm kidding. They're Mormons. And it was a huge, they had their own cartoon on Saturday mornings, just like the Jackson 5 did. There was an Osmond cartoon. And I'm going off at length on this also because, frankly, I was in love with Marie Osmond for many, many years.
And then Hollywood tried to drive a wedge in the family and just focus on Marie and Donnie.
They did.
And then they were the only ones.
Cut out the other bros.
And then the only ones who were getting commercials were Marie and Donnie.
Donnie and Marie. And Donnie was the youngest brother and was kind of brought in later after they'd already formed. Let's check this out. They had a brother, and I didn't realize this. I think it was one or two brothers, because it's a massive family, big old LDS family.
Shecky Osmond?
They had an Osmond who had he was deaf. He had hearing problems. And so to raise money to care for their brother's hearing issues, they started a barbershop quartet. That's how they started singing, was to raise money for a medical condition for one of the brothers. Lawrence Welk didn't want anything to do with him. And they ended up, I forget how they ended up finally forming a band. They brought in Donnie as their lead singer after they'd been together for a number of years.
Well, Lawrence Welk notoriously had beef with Mormons.
He didn't like Mormons, did
I'm
he?
just kidding. I have
no idea.
Yeah, me either.
I remember. I actually am old enough to remember the Lawrence Welk show. I remember tank you now. Get down, get funky, as Robin Williams used to say. But the Osmonds, Donnie and Maria's a huge show. I mean, that was culturally, that was a huge show. Back when variety shows were king, man. And you don't really see those anymore. Not that kind of format where you're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Some of these competition shows, you see different kinds of acts.
Yeah.
But you don't have the concept of a variety show, which was just that. It was a variety of stuff. It's gone.
Well, Hee Haw was a variety show.
Sort of.
Well, yeah, they had comedy, they had musical acts, and they did skits. Carol Burnett, obviously, that's one of the great ones.
The Carol Burnett show was a great show that nobody missed. Hee Haw, when I was a kid, I could take or leave Hee Haw.
Nah,
I wasn't a huge fan of Hee Haw. Of course, I grew up largely in Annapolis, Maryland. I grew up in a suburb of D.C. and Baltimore, I was far from Hee Haw country. Okay, and I hadn't discovered Slower Lower Delaware at that point. But what's the other show you just met? Oh, the Carol Burnett show was a huge deal. And actually, if I remember correctly, you'd see the Osmonds pop up on that every now and again. But the thing about the Carol Burnett show is just them cracking each other up. That's what sold that show.
I never saw the Osmonds on Solid Gold.
Solid Gold. I'd already checked out by the time Solid Gold popped up.
Yeah, but Solid Gold dancers. Dude.
Nah, too skinny. Anyway, so Dave Mason has passed away. Alan Osmond, the oldest of the Osmond brothers, also passed away. And when I started my radio career in '89, Donnie Osmond in '89 and '90 was trying to make a comeback because nobody took him seriously because he was Donnie Osmond. And I remember he had a CD that came out. We were just doing CDs. And I can't remember the name of it, but Donnie Osmond, and he would talk about this in interviews, he grew like a Don Johnson little 5 o'clock shadow to try to edge himself up, It didn't work. I mean, I think the record actually did pretty well. I can't remember the name of it. But then he went on to Broadway, and he became a big deal with the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and did a lot of great Broadway shows. Yes, Alan Osmond has passed away. 210-599-5555. We'll take a break at Sean. It's Ware and Rima on News Talk 550 KTSA. Oh, you know what? Oh, never mind.
That thin builder-grade garage door dents if you look at it wrong. Precision Garage Doors of San Antonio installs strong, good-looking new doors that actually last. Big curb appeal upgrade. See it on your home before you buy. Call Precision Garage Door.
Hey, Trey Ware here for the great folks at Mummies over in Hondo. There's more to Mummies. They are South Texas firearm headquarters. If you're looking for anything when it comes to firearms, brands like Benelli and Horizon, Montana, Weatherby, Colt, SIG, Glock, and so much more, there's only one place in Texas to go. That's South Texas firearm headquarters at Mummies in Hondo, with the largest selection of firearms of all kinds. Long guns, handguns, ARs, they've got them all, and they have them in stock for you today. And of course, a huge selection of accessories. If you're looking for it when it comes to optics or anything else, it's at Mummies and Hondo. And ammo, well, all the name brands that you know, that you trust, and you love, you're going to find at Mummies and Hondo. Well, Mummies has everything. Everything from turtle box speakers to poncho shirts to the best deer corn anywhere and best cattle feed too. They've got it all at Mummies and Hondo. When you're looking for anything to do with firearms and accessories, you're going to find it at Mummies and Hondo. Tell them Trey Ware said hello.
Hello, San Antonio. Ready to spring into summer with your own piece of the Texas coast? This Saturday, don't miss the spring one-day coastal land sale right off beautiful Matagorda Bay, just a short drive from San Antonio. For one day only, grab 1+ acre coastal properties starting at just $59.9 or $49.9 with cash or 1031 exchange. And wait till you hear this. Bayfront property starting at $129.9 or cash price of $119.9. That's right, Bayfront living at unbelievable prices. This gated community has it all. A waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, covered boat slips and private launch, paved roads, underground utilities, and agriculture exemption for low taxes. These deals are for this Saturday only. Call now to reserve your private tour. 210-853-0389. Ask about huge day-of discounts with cash or 1031 exchanges. That's 210-853-0389. Don't wait. Own your slice of the Texas coast. A short drive from San Antonio. Call 210-853-0389.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
A ceasefire extended by President Trump as the war with Iran continues. And that comes after peace talks were supposed to happen in Pakistan on Tuesday, but the Iranians refused to show up. 5 people in the hospital after not one but 2 houses blew up last night on the north side. Natural gas is taking the blame, and lots of vendors could be losing a lot of money after several fiesta events were canceled this week due to the weather. We've got more on these stories and others on the way at 9 o'clock. KTSA News Time, 8:33.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot northwest side. This report sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Get reports of an accident at 410 eastbound. It's right as you approach Vance Jackson. Stop and go from Evers. It's in the right lane. So start moving over to your left side. It is causing about a 10-minute delay. And then 410 eastbound Evers, that stall off to the shoulder. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Rather cloudy and humid today with the high of 80. Not a very comfortable night under mostly cloudy skies. It stays humid. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. A cloudy start to Thursday. Clouds and sun in the afternoon. Warm and humid, the high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
You got 70 degrees, cloudy skies, and a dense fog advisory at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
8:34 on Ware and Rima. Again, Trey's off this week. I'm Sean. Hi. And I totally forgot a few minutes ago to give away some Gunslinger tickets, so we're going to do that now. We're just really busy today, the events of the day. So if you'd like a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Gunslingers at a home game, man, it's lots of fun. Indoor football. Call us up right now, 210-599-5555, 210-599-5555, and you'll win some Gunslinger tickets. Go ahead and give us a ring. Otherwise, there's so many stories I'm trying to get to today, and we keep having news being reported in regards to the ceasefire. The UK is now first off, Iran fired on three ships overnight. They commandeered 2 of those vessels. We haven't learned anything more about the ships they took in. We're hearing from Axios that Donald Trump is planning on the extended ceasefire to last anywhere from 3 to 5 days. I was just seeing some news within the past couple of minutes that the UK, The United Kingdom is going to be hosting a coalition today of European countries on what they should do about opening this damn strait. I just said damn straight. Get it? It's funny.
You did.
That's why I get the big bucks. I'm
So,
kidding.
They're deciding if they can last much longer as all those countries without the oil.
The UK especially, remember, it's a freaking island. They really need Iranian oil or oil to come through the strait. But I just think it's funny. They're going to have a meeting. They're going to have a coalition with France. And they're going to sit around and talk about what they should do about the strait. Hey, newsflash, baby. Trump's the guy running the strait right now. What are you going to do? What are they going to say? We'd like to send President Trump a very strongly worded condemnation of this blockade. Does anyone have any thoughts on an opening statement of our harshly worded admonition of Donald Trump? I just said admonition.
I don't think they're going to do that. I appreciate your accent, but no, they have to get involved, and this is how much they can
but it's a little...
I know it's late.
What are they going to do?
But they're European. They run on their time.
Hey, in America, we show up ready to go, at the front end of things, okay? You guys let the Americans do all the heavy lifting. Now you're going to have a coalition meeting on what to do about the strait. Oh, okay. I'm sure that was keeping Donald Trump up all night. I do want to play a little bit of audio. We have some couple of stories I haven't gotten to yet. We had a federal appellate judge rule that Texas can mandate that the Ten Commandments be displayed in every classroom in Texas. You've heard Christian Blood reporting on this this morning. There was thought that a case, I'm trying to think how far back, just a few years old or maybe longer, as far as the appearance of an establishment of a state-sponsored religion. It was in some other state, I can't remember which one, had somehow won the day in posters and all kinds of stuff about the gospel and about the Ten Commandments being displayed in the classrooms of that state. People arguing against the Ten Commandments in this state, in Texas, used that precedent to try to argue against it. Didn't work. And largely because the proponents of the Ten Commandments being displayed in every classroom in Texas is the historic value of the Ten Commandments. You really can't argue against the reality that our laws are based on the Ten Commandments to a certain extent. Culturally, the impact of the Ten Commandments on not just Western civilization, but American civilization is without question. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense that you would display them. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. But I'm fine with that. While that's going on, as I mentioned a little while ago, you've had, and I think this is really interesting. You have this museum devoted to the Bible in D.C., the Bible Museum, oddly enough it's called. And they're sponsoring or putting on this reading of the Bible. And I bring it up because you're seeing a lot of people picking up the Bible who have never read it before. You see a lot of people returning to the faith or going to the faith for the first time, whether they're going Protestant or Catholic or what have you. There's obviously some kind of faith renaissance going on in the country right now. I hear about people reading the Bible online all the time, people reading the Bible on YouTube. We talked the other day about how Jesse Waters and Gutfeld and Harold Ford are doing a daily Bible study where they read a couple of scripture and they talk about it for a few minutes. A lot of people are returning to more traditional ideas of church. They're not going to the rock and roll churches with all the audio-visual stuff. They're going to the more traditional churches like the Catholic faith. And so the fact that since this past, I think it started on Saturday with Mike Johnson, they've been reading the Bible around the clock, and Donald Trump's video aired last night at 6 p.m. our time, I believe. And let's just listen to just a few seconds of the president. Obviously, this would have been recorded, I'm assuming. I don't believe he probably did it live. But he read a few verses. We're not going to, again, it goes on for about 3 minutes. We're not going to play the whole thing. But if we could play a few seconds, that'd be great. Wow. That's the president reading the Bible. I'm not sure what the scripture's from. Is that Chronicles? Did it say? I can't remember. I think he was reading from Chronicles.
It looks like he's reading a teleprompter because he's just looking straight
but
into the camera.
But it's so funny. I mean, I'm not being critical of the president, but hearing Donald Trump read the Bible is kind of interesting because he does those big nose breaths. You know what I mean? Like the big mouth. You know, when he stops to think about something for a second.
Yeah.
And then King Solomon said, "You know, we're not going to do that. We're not going to tear your temple down."
Is it Chronicles 2 or Chronicles 7, 11 through 20?
I could never quote chapter and verse, but it sounds like it sounds chronically.
I do see Chronicles on the screen.
It sounds chronically. And let me read some more from the word of the Lord. I'll block all your ports. It almost sounds like he was going to go into the Sam Jackson quote from Pulp Fiction.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I bomb the snot out of you and block all your ports and you're losing $500 million a day in the Strait of Hormuz. Amen. But overall, I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing, you know. And I tell you what. These are times where, you know, we were talking earlier about the psychology of the midterms coming up. We were talking with Jonathan Hayward about how the Save America Act is pretty much, are you hearing anything about that? No, you're not. They're not doing anything about it. They're working on a reconciliation bill in the Senate so they can sort of keep the lights on at Homeland Security. But nobody's talking about the Save America Act, which 80% of you, even you Democrats, were for. It doesn't look like anything's going to happen on that. So going into the midterms, people are going to be psychologically a little bummed out. What's it matter? My vote doesn't count. You're seeing this gerrymander go on in Virginia with the district lines. And these are times where I think in general it's very easy to get low in spirits, not just with what's going on in the Middle East. Every day we have more video of these mobs of people just attacking people left and right. You got all kinds of illegal immigrant crime going on. I mean, these are very strange times that we live in. And I think when in other words, we go through big history almost every day. We've talked about that on this show. When's the last time we had a slow year, Elaine? I can't think of it. Since Trump came down the escalator, basically, we have been living in very historic times where the news is big and the events are big. We survived COVID, for crying out loud, a pandemic a few years ago. And I think it's very easy to get cynical, and then if you get cynical, then you get depressed. I know I have to deal with it. Everything's going artificial. That's kind of weird to me. Everything, real life is kind of disappearing before our very eyes. I got another robot story, actually, we can talk about later on. And I think in times like this, people do turn to faith. I think we also have a culture, and Trey and I talk about this every day. The culture in which we live is insipid. It's the exact opposite of what a faith-based life would be. It's do whatever makes you happy, do your own thing. It's all about you. Everybody's content, everybody's a clickbait. Everybody's online, everybody's artificial. And I think in moments like that, people do turn to faith. They turn back to religion because it nourishes them. It fills them up with something hopeful. And I've always said hope is every bit as important to a human being as food and water and sleep. You have to have hope. And in hopeless times, when you're basically surrounded by bad behavior, pretty bad behavior, it's very easy to get depressed about it. And I think people in that moment, they turn back to God. And I think it's a good thing. Overall, it's a good thing. So I think it's great they're reading the Bible at the Bible Museum. That's cool. Although it is a little funny to me to hear Donald Trump. Blessed are the meek. That wouldn't be me. Anyway, 210-599-5555. It's Ware and Rima on Newstalk 550 KTSA. Got some fog out there. There's an advisory, fog advisory in effect, so be careful if you're riding around going into work. Mostly cloudy and warmer today with a thunderstorm later on. A high of 80, mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 69. Tomorrow, humid, cloudy, a high of 85. It's 65 degrees on Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Just cleared one of our trouble spots. This report sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That wreck at 410 eastbound approaching Vance Jackson. That wreck is cleared. Still have the stall at 410 eastbound Evers. That's off to the shoulder. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MADD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP or MADD.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Ware and Rima, on air and online every morning.
And actually, they become hot as a pistol, so what can I tell you?
Watch the show weekday morning 6 till 10, only on KTSA.com.
Hey, this is Richard at Pride Floors. Want a cleaner, richer look in your home? Visit our showroom and explore the newest European oak styles. Quality products, lifetime installation warranties. Near 1604 in Lock Hill, Soma. At Pride Floors, we take pride in our floors so you can take pride in your home.
Well, we know the benefits of having great hearing aids and being able to hear well. That's exactly why I've been telling you now for a long time about HEAR, H-E-A-R, here in Texas. But did you also know there are problems with health that are associated often with poor hearing? Things like balance issues and early onset dementia. If you or somebody that you know suffers from hearing loss, as I do, I want you to see HEAR in Texas. Simply the best. They will do a complete evaluation of your hearing to find out what's going on so they can prescribe for you the right fix that's for you. You see, there's no cookie cutter approach with the team at HEAR in Texas. They are a team of hearing specialists and they're ready to work for you today. They accept TRICARE and other insurance as well, and they have a wonderful subscription service. So when the technology updates, as it does frequently, you just get a brand new pair of hearing aids. Find out more today by logging on at HEAR in Texas, H-E-A-R, HearInTX.com. Have your hearing tested today at the best in Texas. That's HEAR in Texas, H-E-A-R, HearInTX.com.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Call Trajan today at 210-201-7100. That's 210-201-7100.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey y'all, this is Dr. Mark Havercorn of River City Oral Surgery.
I just heard a River City Oral Surgery commercial, and I need to set the record straight. I'm recording this in my truck, so I apologize for any sound quality, but it's important to me that this is correct. I am not the only oral surgeon in town with hospital privileges. There are lots of oral surgeons in town with hospital privileges. I know most of them. I've worked with many of them. I've trained with some of them. I would let all of them operate on me easily, no question. Now, what does make us unique is that River City Oral Surgery is the only implant center in the area that I know of where there's a board-certified oral surgeon, me, who lives here in San Antonio and works in the practice full-time, a medical anesthesiologist, and a prosthodontist all working on you. 3 specialists. That's hard to find. So if we can help you in any way, give us a call, 210-778-0002. Thank you.
Bjorn's has evolved. Our team's been bringing cutting-edge tech home for 50 years.
Come visit the Bjorn showroom on 281.
We'll show you how the future of technology can fit perfectly into your world. Because if it's technology,
it's at Bjorn's. Just Bjorn's.
Thomas J. Henry Law fights even when the insurance company says your claim is worth nothing. Thomas J. Henry doesn't back down. That's how we put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just the last 4 years. Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
It's time to improve your home, slow it down, and do it right. Choose a company worthy of your trust and worthy of your family. For windows, siding, and doors, call or visit southwestexteriors.com. Southwest Exteriors, the look you love coming home to.
Guests of Ware and Rima appear via the Stevens Roofing Newsmaker Hotline.
And we're back. News Talk 550 KTSA FM 1071. It's Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. His videos are online, KTSA.com. He's still posting videos. This is one of those days where I'm trying to get to every damn story. We got a couple of CIA agents who died as a result of a car wreck. I think they actually went over a cliff somewhere in Chihuahua. They were involved in a raid, taking out a drug lab.
Did you see that lab?
I didn't see the lab, no.
Oh, they show pictures. It's out in the woods, and it's all sophisticated.
Oh, they're huge. They dump a lot of money into making this crap. I remember I saw a presentation by the sheriff about a year ago on these labs and just how much money and, frankly, how much Chinese money also makes it into constructing these labs. These are these are big operations, man.
That was Chihuahua, Mexico, but in southern Arizona, where I lived, close to across the line, Agua Prieta, Nogales, you'd see all of those high-tech, huge labs.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money on the labs. That's where they make their product. And there was some kind of CIA operation to take one out. They did that, but then, we haven't really had any clarification on how I was reading that they went over a cliff or something and they smashed and blew up or something like that. So we're waiting to hear some additional information on that. So there's that story swirling around.
Yeah, Mexico is still investigating. That's what I'm seeing.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of that.
Depends on how much money comes in.
I was going to say, I'm sure Scheinbaum's going to get on top of that one, man. Then you have yesterday you had Todd Blanche, your acting U.S. Attorney General, and Kash Patel. I almost said in between, hits from a beer bong, but I'm just being funny. We'll talk about Kash. We'll get into We'll play some Kash audio a little later on. He's got, he's suing the Atlantic, and a lot of liberal pukes are still out there saying he's got a drinking problem. Whatever. He and Todd Blanche yesterday announced an indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center. You know them, you love them. They're fighting injustice, right? Left and right, fighting extremism, fighting racism. Unless, allegedly, they're cutting checks to the Ku Klux Klan and the Aryan Brotherhood, the Nationalist Socialist Party. The indictment alleges that the Southern Poverty Law Center has, in Todd Blanche's words, not dismantling extremism, but funding it. We're talking about millions of dollars being paid to, the leadership structure of the Ku Klux Klan. Well, informants. They call them informants inside the Ku Klux Klan. The Aryan Brotherhood, which we have a big old chunk of that right here in Texas. And also the socialist group. What are they called? Nationalist Socialist, the Nazi Party of America. So they're saying they funneled millions of dollars to the Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan, and the Aryan nations under the argument that they have informants in those organizations and they tell them of things that these groups are doing. And then the Southern Poverty Law Center sends information. They're claiming to law enforcement and stuff like that. But what the indictment is suggesting is that what they're actually doing is they're funding these groups. Now, again, this is all alleged, but they're funding these groups, sending millions of dollars to these groups, more like a team, and that we're all about fighting racism, which means we need racism. So where are you guys going to be doing racism? Racist things? I guess that's kind of how it's like a working relationship between them and these hate groups. And mind you, the Southern Poverty Law Center determined just prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination that TPUSA was an extremist group. And he didn't want to make it on the list of the Poverty Center's, extremist group, but they targeted Charlie Kirk while they're funneling millions of dollars to the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazi Party of America. It's very strange, but again, it's kind of another example of a progressive group of people, so-called progressive, who claim to be working for somebody, trying to lift somebody up, fighting something for somebody, and yet at the same time they're either working with the bad guys or ripping off the people they claim to be helping. So a very strange relationship that may exist between the Southern Poverty Law Center and groups like the KKK and the Nazis. It's just odd, man. It's an odd little relationship. That's your whole thing, right, is fighting racism. You can't tell me it costs millions and millions of dollars to pay off an informant. And why do you have informants anyway?
Because you can't fight off racism if there isn't racism.
I guess. Hey, where are you guys going to be burning some crosses? We want to show up with some lawyers. So anyway.
You got to hire the extras while you can.
I guess. 210-599-5555. It's Sean. It's Ware and Rima on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Hey, it's Sean. If your AC is struggling, my friends at John Wayne can help you fast. Call John Wayne for HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. One company for the whole house. You get straight answers and clear options with no pressure. Now, if you think you need a new AC system, get a free estimate from John Wayne. Especially if another company told you that you need a big repair or a full replacement, get a free second opinion from John Wayne. A second opinion can save you from replacing a system you might not need to replace. Plus, a free estimate helps you compare your options and make a smart decision. John Wayne can inspect your system, explain what's going on, and tell you what makes the most sense. They handle AC repairs and full replacements every day here in San Antonio. So call my friends at John Wayne or book an appointment online. Either way, it's easy to get on the schedule, and you can see these great coupon offers plus other current deals on the John Wayne website. Click coupons for details. Call them up today, 210-293-6700, or look them up online at johnwayne.com.
Hey folks, this is Carl Eggers. You've heard me for over a decade on the Trey Ware Show. When was the last time you had a real financial checkup? Not a quick chat, not a sales pitch, an honest, personal review of where you stand and where you're headed. When you schedule a free financial checkup with us, you sit down with me personally, not a salesperson, not a high-volume call center. I personally walk you through your current cash flow, your investments, and yes, even your tax return, because your financial life isn't a one-size-fits-all. We actively manage your assets using unique, tailored investments, not cookie-cutter models or proprietary products. And we build comprehensive financial plans designed for you, your goals, your family, and your future. Give us a call at 210-526-0057. That's 210-526-0057, or visit creatingricherlives.com.
Investment management services offered by Cap Trust, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Our current disclosures are available on creatingricherlives.com.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
This is San Antonio's news, traffic, and weather station. KTSA.
It's 9 o'clock, KTSA San Antonio. I'm Christian Blood. The ceasefire with Iran was set to end, but now President Trump is extending it by 3 to 5 days. It comes after Iran backed out of peace talks that were supposed to happen in Pakistan.
It was smart of the president to signal to the Iranian regime that they couldn't indefinitely engage in negotiations and just buy time to rebuild their capabilities. But typically, communicating deadlines is done privately so that both parties have the time and space to negotiate and really assess if the other party is being credible in negotiating in good faith.
That's correspondent Savantha Vinograd. We have the latest on everything happening in the Middle East on the front page of KTSA.com. 5 people now in the hospital after 2 homes exploded on the north side.
It all started around 6 o'clock on Tuesday night at Preston Hollow Drive when the first explosion happened. Then just 2 hours later, another explosion rocked a second home just a few doors down. 5 people ended up in the hospital and 3 were reported critical. Investigators think the gas buildup was the cause of the explosions. 10 homes were evacuated and power was cut off for more than 1,500 people. Stacey Keene, KTSA News.
Some vendors playing catch up after losing thousands of dollars when the city canceled several Fiesta events on Monday. Vendor fees for exhibitors, food vendors, and food trucks start at $4,000 for the 10-day festival. Fiesta de los Reyes was one of the events called off Monday because of rain, and vendor contracts make it quite clear they don't get refunds in case of bad weather. Business owners were back in Market Square Tuesday. They're hoping the weather keeps on improving. Remember Alligator Alcatraz in Florida? Well, it was shut down, but now it's reopening in the Sunshine State.
A judge had ordered the Immigration Detention Center in the Everglades to wind down its operation, ruling it violates federal environmental law. But the appeals court ruled since the facility is run by the state, it does not have to undergo a federal environmental impact review. Michael Rojas was just released from Alligator Alcatraz after several months. He says it's overcrowded with cameras over the toilets and no visits from loved ones allowed.
That's correspondent Michael Wallace. KTSA News Time, 9:02.
Good morning. Working a new trouble spot on Loop 410. This report sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. On 410 westbound, Austin Highway accident. Looks like they moved this to the left shoulder. A stall at 151 Frontage Road, westbound Wiseman taking up a right lane. And a stall at 410 eastbound Evers, left shoulder blocked. If you have questions about youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA builds better athletes, better people through sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
The humidity remains cranked up the next couple of days. Rather cloudy today with the high of 80. Mostly cloudy tonight. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. Cloudy start to Thursday, then clouds and sun for the afternoon. The high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
A dense fog advisory in place till 10 o'clock this morning. Your temperature 70 degrees at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
News Talk 550 KTSA.
And we're back 4 minutes after 9 on Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. He's still posting videos on KTSA.com. I got a new video up. We're all doing the video thing, and we're doing the streaming thing. And the show is going very quickly because we have so much to talk about. And the phone lines are open 210-599-5555. Not the least of which is this extension of the ceasefire. In Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, we are hearing this morning, which we weren't hearing last night when I went to bed, but you're hearing now, that Trump's plan is that the extension will only last 3 to 5 days. We've read the Truth Social post from yesterday afternoon a number of times this morning, and that Trump says, and we were yesterday kind of scratching our heads going, well, why isn't JD and Jared taken off yet? They were supposed to leave yesterday morning. We found out why, and that there's not really, Trump's word was fractured as far as the leadership in Iran. And Trump has alluded to this or talked about this before, that you have different factions or different groups of people who are disparate groups of people who are trying to claim a leadership role. You got the Revolutionary Guard guys, who are the ones who were firing on these vessels overnight, and actually commandeered a couple of vessels in the Strait. And they're the crazy guys. And then you have other folks who are more moderate, who want to work with Trump, but, of course, it's uncertain who actually is in charge. And so you can't really have anything resembling a peace deal if you're not really dealing with the actual leadership of the country, which we can't really be certain as to who that actually is. And as I understand it, the Prime Minister of Pakistan asked Donald Trump for an extension. Because you and I were not talking about an extension going into yesterday, and today, especially with the end of the ceasefire, which would have been the end of the ceasefire today. Remember, Trump was on MSN, I guess, or what, Squawk Box, whatever the hell it's called, yesterday. Well, I figure I'll go in bombing. He said he would feel better if he went in bombing. Obviously, for the critics of the president, this is an opportunity. You know it. I know it. See, he's mired in Iran. He doesn't even know who the leadership is. There was no plan. He's stumbling through this. Then you got the Tuckers of the world. No new wars. And here we are, mired in a war. But it doesn't really matter what Donald Trump does. Those people are always going to be on the opposite side of it. Okay, I'm largely speaking as an American citizen, okay? And I pay the government money. I do. In fact, I owe the government money. So I think I've more than earned my opinion. Thus far as where we are right now at this particular moment in Iran, I'm fine with it. I still believe in the overall mission. I do not believe Donald Trump didn't foresee this or anticipate this. I can't believe, given all the people he's surrounded by, many of them military geniuses, that they weren't saying to him, well, once we blow the snot out of this country with our weaponry and our military and destroy their Navy and their Air Force and their leadership, I mean, we've called it whack-a-mole. I mean, that's really what they've been doing. Trump even said, as of yesterday, we may have to kill all the leaders. This is before the ceasefire extension was announced. Excuse me. And, I obviously, who's actually running the country? You got one set of guys with guns and weapons, and they're pretty barbaric. And then you got other guys who want to make a deal, but they're not able to because of the guys with the guns. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty freaking fractured. I'm not really, really surprised by that. And then Jack had said this yesterday, and I referenced this earlier. We talked to Riccardi about this earlier in the week, and he's certainly talked about this on his show, and Jack and 60 coming up at 10:05, that we're very often, whether we're dealing with China, Russia, or Iran, and the mullahs and the radical Islamic guys, you're dealing with people who know their only real strength is the long game. That our greatest weakness is our attention span. Americans don't have much of an appetite for war the longer it goes on. MAGA people are having an issue with what's going on in Iran. And I guess the thinking, which would make sense, is that if you can keep dithering on a peace deal, so to speak, and going back and forth, that you prolong this heading up to the midterms, because ultimately your goal is going to be the same goal as any Democrat in this country, which is to get rid of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is your issue. I know Bibi's kicking ass with his kicking Hezbollah ass in Lebanon. But right now, as far as whatever mullahs are left or whomever is actually running Iran, your problem is Donald Trump. Your problem certainly isn't Starmer and this British or European coalition that's meeting today to decide what they're going to do about the Strait of Hormuz. You're not worried about the Brits. You're not worried about France. Your issue is Donald stinking Trump. And maybe they figure if they keep this going on for as long as they can, because it's not like they have anything to lose. If you're the Revolutionary Guard or you're a real zealot true believing, weirdo used to hacking people to pieces, you pretty much know that one way or the other, this is probably coming to an end, and you have very little to lose. So why not keep it going for as long as possible? Again, Americans, we have a very short attention span. We have a distaste for war. As I mentioned, a lot of folks in Donald Trump's own support base are having issues with Iran after the campaign promised to, quote, he's not going to start any new wars. So I suspect Jack is right, that they're playing the game, man. And we'll see what happens in 3 to 5 days, because, again, that's what we're hearing this morning. The extension, according to Axios, reporting Donald Trump saying this or believing this, that, we're only going to do this for about 3 to 5 days. And what happens after that, I don't know. 3 or 5 more days, I don't know. But I certainly do agree that the longer this goes on, it hurts his support here in the United States. So we'll see. A couple of other things going on. We mentioned Virginia, what happened there. We talked to Jonathan Hayward from Breitbart.com earlier about this. This referendum was passed on basically bringing fairness back to voting in Virginia, which everybody knows exactly what just happened in Virginia with these district lines. You look at a map broken down in red and blue, and you know exactly what they just did. You have 11 districts in Virginia, and I think the Republican and Democrat representation was like 5 to 6. And if you read the actual language, I did earlier, if you read the actual language of the referendum, the question they were asked on the ballot, well, don't you want to restore fairness to our elections in Virginia? Plus, it's only temporary. We can change them back after 2028 or 2030 or whatever it is. Because by law, 2030, by law, or according to Virginia law, you look at those lines every 10 years after the census. Why? Well, because you're figuring out who lives where. This was something they wanted to do temporarily because they feel people are not being represented, which is a bunch of bull crap. It's about the midterms and having 10 Democrats to 1 Republican in Congress. Everybody knows that's what just happened. Now, obviously, it's going to go immediately to appeal. Or however you do that. How do you appeal a referendum? But it's not just magically going to happen. There's going to be still a bit of a fight for it to take place. But, again, look at a map of Virginia and look at how the lines are drawn right now and look at what the proposed lines are and tell me you're not seeing what I'm seeing. About basically shutting out any conservative or Republican voice in the state of Virginia. Now, Trump didn't win Virginia, but he had a sizable portion of folks in Virginia that did vote for him, which means they're probably somewhat conservative and probably should have some reps in the House. But, that's politics in America. Jonathan Hayward was right. This is what Democrats do. When they see an opportunity to grab power and grab power forever, they absolutely take it. We had the Save America Act on our side. Our guys aren't doing anything. It's dead in the water. John Thune is going with reconciliation to keep the lights on at Homeland Security. In other words, you have Democrats who will fight dirty and have absolutely no moral problem doing that as long as they solidify their power. And you have Republicans who claim all kinds of crap they're going to do on the campaign trail, but then once they get the gig, they don't do a damn thing. Now, with the Save America Act, 80%, I think, of all Americans wanted this. I mean, across the board, Democrats, Republicans. The numbers were pretty significant, and yet nothing's going to happen with it because the swamp must protect itself.
We could get lucky, and hold on, we get the reconciliation, we get the DHS funded and those doors open. And then maybe, if we pray hard enough, they will nuke the filibuster and then bring back the vote on the SAVE Act and not have to worry about everything, right?
Maybe, but that would be nice, but I don't know that I get that feeling from a guy like John Thune. I mean, we'll see.
Well, it's plausible. I mean, it could happen. You're just,
I hope
have
so.
To kill my dreams.
I'm killing your dreams. They're killing the Save America Act. Why? Because Republicans are no better than Democrats in a sense. They're all part of the same corporation. Also, we are live streaming, and I want to thank JDR, who said he purchased a book of poetry of mine, Clowns and Outlaws. Elaine told me about this on the stream. This is his first book of poems ever. Was really surprised at how moving it was, thought-provoking, triggers self-reflection. Well, I'm glad thanks for picking up a copy, man.
$2, right, bud?
I make $1.69 a copy. No, on that one, actually, that's a little shorter, so I only make about $1.29 on that one.
It's like a residual check for acting.
I don't do it for the money. Yes, I certainly don't publish poetry for the money. It's not my plan B. But you know what? I really enjoy it when people do pick up a copy. Thank you. And all my stuff is available on Amazon if you want to check it out. 210-599-5555. It is Ware and Rima. We'll take a break. It's Sean on News Talk 550 KTSA. Still may have some patches of fog out there. It's getting kind of humid and sticky right now. Mostly cloudy and warmer today with a thunderstorm later on, a high of 80. Mostly cloudy overnight, a low of 69. Humid and cloudy tomorrow with a high of 85. It is currently 66 degrees on News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a few trouble spots. 410 westbound Austin Highway. That's an accident off to the left shoulder. A stall at 151 Frontage Road westbound at Wiseman's, taking up a right lane. Loop 410 eastbound at Evers. That stalls off to the shoulder. And 35 Frontage Road southbound between Ben Zengelman on down to Frostbank Center Drive. That has now reopened. The frontage road, that high water has receded. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
The headlines the others miss. From Texas to the nation and around the world. Stay connected. News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
I'm James with Patriot Dryer Vent Cleaning. Lead buildup in your dryer vent can cause dangerous house fires. Annual cleaning is a must. Schedule with Patriot Dryer Vent Cleaning at cleanmydryervent.org. That's cleanmydryervent.org. We're veteran owned, veteran proud, with veteran standards.
Right now, with the purchase of a Connecticut, you receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. Call Connecticut and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
If your transmission is acting up, Access Transmission on Thousand Oaks is the only place you need to go to get it repaired or replaced. Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Access Transmission has been the trusted transmission experts in the San Antonio area for over 50 years. Family owned and operated, Access Transmission can handle all your transmission needs, domestic and import. All estimates are free. There are no inspection or diagnostic fees like the big national chains. Shop local and take your vehicle to Access Access Transmission, where you can get a fair, honest, and free diagnosis of your transmission issue. They can repair or rebuild your transmission with their in-house rebuilders serving San Antonio and the Hill Country. Access Transmission offers free pickup and delivery. And yes, that does include the Hill Country. Located on Thousand Oaks between Jones-Maltzberger and Wetmore Road. Call Access Transmission, 210-490-4411. 490-4411. Access Transmission, the experts in transmission repair.
In the 80s, fashion was rad and music was cool. But if your AC isn't cool, that's totally bogus. It's Martin Bamba from the KTSA Rockin' Home Show. For AC repair or a full install, call Right Home Services right now and get a complete AC install up to 3 tons for just $89.99. That's a limited time deal with serious savings. Right has the right team, the right price, and the right stuff. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000. They bring the cool.
The right stuff. Most people don't think about this, and I'll bet you didn't either. The nursing home. The average cost can wipe out a lifetime of savings, but there are legal strategies to protect most of your family's wealth and have Medicaid cover the costs. Here's another one. Selling highly appreciated assets means paying massive capital gains taxes, right? Wrong. There are ways to permanently defer those taxes if you know how to structure it properly. And if you're a business owner looking to transfer your company to the next generation while maintaining an income stream and suffering no tax liability, that can be done too. This is what the Voller Law Firm does. Mr. Voller and his team work with families who have accumulated some assets over a lifetime and want to make sure those assets stay in the family, protected from lawsuits, predatory spouses, the nursing home, and the government. They also help you structure inheritances so when your kids inherit, it goes to your grandchildren, not to a son-in-law or daughter-in-law if something happens. Voller Law Firm is the trusted name in estate planning for our KTSA listeners. VollerLaw.com, VOELLER, or call them 210-338-6983. Tell them Joe Pag sent you.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Ben Adams Jewelers is going out of business after 56 years. Everything must go. Save up to 70% store-wide. Plus, take an extra 10% off. Prices have never been lower. Hurry in before it's too late.
San Antonio's most listened to news talk station. 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
And we're back. News Talk 550, KTSA, FM 1071. It's Ware and Rima. Trey's off this week. He'll be back on Monday. You can check out all our videos and stuff, all our content at KTSA.com. We're also streaming on KTSA.com and YouTube. And it looks like we've been reporting on the weather all morning that the rain is going to stop today. We did lose one person yesterday, I believe on the east side. As I understand it, he was in a tree, and it's being reported fell out of the tree and got swept away by the waters. So very tragic. Also, the Waypo. Is that what they're called? The Waypo cars with no driver. Waymo? Yeah. Waypo is Washington Post. Waymo is driverless cars, and I guess the robots don't realize that you're supposed to turn around, and they just went right into the water. Not quite ready to be standardized, I think, these driverless cars. I also saw, we've been talking off and on about the Beijing robot race, robots running against humans. There was video that came out yesterday of one of these robots getting to the finish line. Right before the finish line, it tripped or something, and then once it fell to the ground, it just started kicking and freaking out, and it kicked itself apart, Elaine. The robot destroyed itself.
That's the one I was telling you about. They came to him with a stretcher. Well, they came to it. I don't know if it was
okay.
With a stretcher.
Oh, that's right. Took it off on a stretcher. I don't know. I don't like the robot thing. Is I grew up in a pop culture that brought me the Terminator and Space Odyssey 2001. I'm a little suspicious. Blade Runner. I'm a little suspicious of humanoid robots. I was raised to be so. I want to talk about, we haven't hit the Kash Patel story today. He made the news yesterday, obviously, with Todd Blanche and talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center. Kash Patel made another public statement yesterday. He's suing The Atlantic for $250 million for this piece that came out on Friday saying that he's a drinker, he's got an alcohol problem. He very obviously becomes, quote, observably drunk or intoxicated. The story purported that he was sometimes his own agents and Secret Service guys were unable to wake him because he had been up drinking or something of that nature. There's all these allegations about alcoholism. I want to play the audio from Kash Patel from yesterday. We posted this on the KTSA website as well, ktsa.com. Go ahead and roll that.
Louder, it just means I'm doing my job. This FBI director has been on the job twice as many days as every director before me. What that means is I've taken half as many days off as those before me. What that means is I've taken a third less vacation than those before me. What that means is that this FBI with this Department of Justice has dropped the murder rate 20 points. What that means is this FBI with this Department of Justice has captured 8 of the top 10 most wanted fugitives in the world, twice as many as the Biden administration did in its entire 4 years. What that means is this FBI has seized enough fentanyl off the streets to kill 178 million Americans, a 31% increase. What that means is this FBI and this DOJ has arrested 43% more spies in 14 months than the entirety of the Biden administration. What that means is this FBI has seen a reduction in opiate overdose deaths up to 20% alone. What that means is that we have found 6,300 child victims, 6,300 families have their kids back. That is a 22% increase from the Biden administration. I'm on the job. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one out. I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they
so
raise a gold
basically
medal.
he's saying, my job performance level should tell you I'm not a drinker. Is what he's saying, basically.
That to
we
me
got a
tells
great
me
record.
he's under a lot of stress, and he would go home and pound down a couple of beers.
I want to get to it. I'm gonna because we ran out of time. I want to come back to this when we get back because we haven't talked about Kash today at all. So I got some thoughts on that when we get back at 9:35. But that's Kash Patel from yesterday. He's suing The Atlantic for that story. I forget who it was I was listening to yesterday or watching. I had some thoughts on whether or not this is going to help or hurt him. Or is he going to end up going away as well as some other cabinet members have? 210-599-5555. It's Ware and Rima on News Talk 550 KTSA. Let me tell you about my friends at Stevens Roofing. Well, this is a good time to maybe have them come on out and do that free roof inspection for you. We've just come out of some pretty wet weather, to say the least, over the past few days with flooding and all that stuff. That's really bad on your roof. All that wetness, all that moisture, all that water gets into your roof, especially if you've got some shingles that have peeled away from last summer, which you may have, and you get good soaking rains like that over a period of days, and it gets into the wood structure and does a real number on your roof. That's why Stevens Roofing wants to come on out and give your roof a complete look over. They go over every square inch and then tell you if you have any issues. They can show you on a computer. We've done it twice at my house. They also do solar now, so while they're out looking at your roof for free, you can also ask them about solar, helping to lower those monthly utility bills and increase the value of your home. But it all begins with a phone call of my friends at Stevens Roofing, a locally owned family business. Keeping your family covered, 210-785-0994, or look them up online at stevensroofing.net.
Ware and Rima, on air and online every morning.
And actually, they become hot as a pistol, so what can I tell you?
Watch the show weekday morning 6 till 10, only on KTSA.com.
A bathroom remodel is not just about looks, it's about comfort, safety, and function too. Safe Showers and Bathwise have joined forces with New Bath Today to bring you more, including showers, tubs, flooring, and vanities. Get $1,500 off your new shower at newbathtoday.com.
Well, you can't turn on the news or open a business journal lately without seeing these two letters, AI. Hey, Trey Ware here. I know what many of you business leaders are feeling, that mounting pressure to do something. But here's the reality. Rushing into AI just to say you're doing it is a fast track to security breaches, compliance nightmares, and a whole lot of wasted capital. That's why I want to tell you about Bridgehead IT. They aren't here to sell you on the latest shiny object or trending bot. They're here to give you a strategy. It starts with their AI assessment. Bridgehead IT sits down with your team to identify where AI can actually deliver measurable value and where it's just noise. They prioritize protecting your sensitive data and ensuring your transition is secure from day one. Bridgehead IT focuses on clarity first. You get a roadmap built on outcomes, not hype. If AI is on your roadmap for 2026, start with the experts who put security and your bottom line first. Visit bridgeheadit.com. That's bridgeheadit.com.
My name is Vicky. I'm 50 and love reading, gardening, and watching movies. I was diagnosed with 2 autoimmune diseases and told I'd be on medication for the rest of my life. I was constantly tired. I go to bed tired and wake up tired. I had severe allergies and I was depressed. I knew something had to change. I literally was tired of being tired. I made an appointment with Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. I knew right away he was different. He had commitment and dedication to me as his patient. He's the first doctor I've met that actually read my chart and spent time understanding my situation. I began his program and dropped 20 pounds in the first 30 days. I'm now down 70 pounds and went from a size 16 to a size 5'7". My joint pain is gone. I'm no longer on medications and I stopped being tired. I feel amazing. Dr. Torres has changed my life.
I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com, 468-1891.
Hey, this is Richard at Pride Floors. Are you tired of your old dingy floors and carpet? Come see the latest hardwood and luxury vinyl plank that will bring real beauty to your home. Near 1604 in Lock Hill, Soma, at Pride Floors, we take pride in our floors so you can take pride in your home.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Things are changing fast and no one knows what comes next. Times like these make you realize just how important it is to be prepared. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. They're America's #1 most trusted resource for survival food, solar power, water filtration systems, and more. Go to preparewithamerica.com to unlock a special offer that'll help you get ready for whatever comes our way. Go to preparewithamerica.com to see the special offer right now. That's preparewithamerica.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I get to talk to you about a new place that I visited this week. I went out to Just Pots out there on Redland Road. And let me tell you, I've been a lot of places that manufacture pots. I thought I had seen big collections of pots, but I have never seen anything like Just Pots. You drive down that driveway, and every direction you look, it is a sea of top quality pots. I asked Jeremy out there how many pots I was looking at, and he said about 40,000. They've got everything. They've got terracotta pots. They've got good Italian terracotta. They've got a lot of glazed pottery, the top quality thick walled pots that come out of Vietnam. Truly, every color you can imagine, every size you can imagine. Thank goodness they offer delivery services because some of those pots are just huge. I was truly impressed. Takes a lot to impress me, but Just Pots is quite an operation. Good people out there, but if you're thinking about buying pots, you owe it to yourself to go see it. Just Pots are open 7 days a week to serve you out there on Redland Road.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Not a lot of things in this world are free, especially a world with high inflation. But when it comes to financial education, I have something free for you. It's the Creating Richer Lives podcast. I'm Carl Eggers, your host. Find the podcast each week at creatingricherlives.com or on all major podcasting platforms.
KTSA News brought to you by Stevens Roofing.
A ceasefire extension of 3 to 5 days announced by President Trump, and yet Iran continues to attack shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. We'll get the latest coming up. Replacing current Fed Chair Jerome Powell could be a bit more complicated than expected. And the 10 Commandments are going up in Texas public schools. Details on these stories and others coming up at 10 o'clock. KTSA News Time 9:36.
Good morning. We do have a new trouble spot on the northwest side on I-10. This report sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment. An accident I-10 westbound right as you approach 1604. We've got 2 right lanes blocked. Delays start at Wurzbach, so tack on at least an extra 15 minutes to your commute. It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, under hood, and more. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 3rd, 2026. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Rather cloudy and humid today with a high of 80. Not a very comfortable night under mostly cloudy skies. It stays humid. The low just 68 along the Riverwalk and 66 in Hill Country. A cloudy start to Thursday. Clouds and sun in the afternoon. Warm and humid. The high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
You got cloudy skies, 70 degrees at San Antonio's severe weather station. I'm Christian Blood. Stay connected with News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
And we're back 9:37 on Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. He'll be back on Monday. He's still posting videos, though, every day. You can check those out on KTSA.com. And all of us have videos on the website. We're also streaming. News Talk 550 KTSA. I want to pick up on just a final statement on the Kash Patel thing. Then I want to get some of these stories that I haven't been able to get to today because we've been so freaking busy with the news. First off, my only deal with the Kash Patel story that he's got a drinking problem because he's suing them. He's going after him for $250 million for the story they put out on Friday. I forget who I was reading yesterday saying that's probably not a good idea because this is a story that maybe people wouldn't talk, hearkening back to that attention span I mentioned a little while ago. Maybe if he'd have not said anything about it or not sued them, the story would have gone away. I don't know if I agree with that or not. He is the director of the FBI. He has a lot of political enemies, obviously. My only issue with Kash Patel having some kind of pronounced drinking problem, whether that's full-bore alcoholism or, he's just a really, really heavy drinker, is he pretty much works for Donald Trump. You're telling me that the FBI director, Donald Trump's FBI director, has a bad drinking problem, and Donald Trump doesn't know about it. Because if Donald Trump would know about it, Kash Patel wouldn't be there. You look at a guy like Eric Swalwell, everybody knew what Eric Swalwell was doing and what he was about. He was just protected by layers of people in the media and in government, and was allowed to continue being allegedly, a guy with a pretty bad drinking problem, tens of thousands of dollars spent on booze alone and women and all that stuff. Okay, the only reason a guy like Eric Swalwell was able to continue doing that is because he was protected and he served some kind of a purpose. I find it hard to believe that Donald Trump's FBI director would have such a pronounced drinking problem that it to the extent that the Atlantic reports, and he would stay in that job under a guy like Donald Trump, who doesn't drink and is very anti. Donald Trump is a businessman ultimately, and Kash Patel would be a CEO of a division of one of his businesses. He's not going to let the guy just sit there if he's got a bad drinking problem. I just don't buy it. I also think the fact that Kash Patel is suing tells me that he's, he wants to fight this thing and clear his name, which he wouldn't do if there was truth to it. if he was really that bad. Now, some of these other stories that we didn't get to, this smaller story. We talked about Kevin Warsh earlier in the Senate Banking Committee hearings yesterday. It was largely about being Donald Trump's puppet if you're a Democrat or you're Elizabeth Warren or what have you. Well, are you going to lower the rates because Donald Trump tells you to? Is that what you're going to do? Tim Scott, I thought, did a pretty good job of handling the whole thing and chairing the committee. Elizabeth Warren was just Elizabeth Warren. One of the most truly annoying people. I think Elizabeth Warren, whose entire adult life is an act of cultural appropriation. It's amazing liberals love her as much as they do. Who's been screaming about rich fat cats and elitists her whole life. Well, look in the mirror, sweetheart. But she was going after him that, he's Donald Trump tells him to do something, he's going to do it. Donald Trump tells him to jump, how high, all that nonsense, all that stuff. Whatever. She's Elizabeth Warren being Elizabeth Warren and the rest of them. A story I saw that's kind of funny. Some high school students in Kansas were able to secure a really cool ride to their prom. They were able to go to the prom in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. This whatever town in Kansas they were in, the Wienermobile was there. We had to come through this town just a few months ago, I think. And one of these students just went up to the driver, whose professional name is Maggie Meatloaf. I'm serious. And asked, is there any way we can rent the Wienermobile or ride the Wienermobile to the prom? And she called her bosses and they said it would be fine. And so they were probably the cool kids at prom. Well, maybe not. Cool kids at prom riding the Wienermobile to prom. That's pretty cool. I didn't do the limousine. Nobody was doing limousines when I don't remember anybody in 1985 getting a limousine ride to the prom. I hitched a ride with my date and I hitched a ride with a guy in a pickup truck. I'm kidding. He was was going to the prom with us. We went to the prom in a pickup truck. Now it's limousines and Wienermobiles. So I'd seen that yesterday. I wanted to mention that briefly. The guy, this family that attacked Savannah Hernandez in Minneapolis, they are really, really upset over all the negative attention they're getting. Chris Ostruszko told One America News Network in an interview that was published Monday, it's a little overwhelming and makes me second guess even living in this country, to be honest with you. He's talking about, they get hundreds of phone calls, his words, hundreds of phone calls a day, text messages, and social media messages. Since his wife, and his daughter attacked a journalist at the Blank Ice Day in Minneapolis, once they found out she was associated with Turning Point USA. They say that she was the aggressor. Now, we've all seen the video of this jackass shoving her to the ground. You look at Savannah Hernandez. Does she seem, even if she wanted to be aggressive, does she seem like somebody who could cause a lot of damage to a guy that size? She's pretty small, man. They're just so shocked, and you may have to leave the country. You attacked a woman. You attacked a journalist. You physically told your daughter to attack a journalist, allegedly, and your wife, and simply because she was there on behalf of Turning Point USA, and you're shocked that you got some negative pushback on that, huh? They say they have lost their jobs, whoever they were working with, the family, all three of them have lost whatever jobs they have. The wife or the daughter claims she suffered neck injuries from the police. The cops are shoving them around, I guess. The Ostruszkos have started a GoFundMe page. They want to, because they're unemployed now because of their bad behavior. Whoever they were working for fired their asses, They're seeking $8,000. Elaine, so far they've raised $300 in their GoFundMe. I've actually made more money off my own poetry books over the span of like 10 years than these people have made on their GoFundMe account. So you don't think you should live here in this country anymore? Well, bye. Why don't you go live someplace else where you'd be happy? And there ain't no Turning Point USA Nazis around to upset you. I just think it's kind of funny that they're shocked that they've gotten so much negative publicity and negative attention. And she's little, man. That dude shoved her in the back and she went down. Don't tell me you're peaceful people. I don't want to hear it. So we had that story we were talking about. Again, we spent most of our time today talking about the ceasefire, the extended ceasefire. Jack Riccardi's coming up in a few minutes. Jack in 60 at 10:05, and we'll get his thoughts not only on that, but a range of other, as he goes through the couple of shows he does a day. He has the afternoon show as well. Oh, just very briefly, I saw this video of this woman in Maryland basically popping a gun off at a gas station clerk who was in serious condition. It's really disturbing. I'm not sure what part of Maryland. I'll have to look it up. But, I Howard County, okay. I have a great deal of connection. One of the reasons that I like hanging out in convenience stores, and it's one of my last vices, if you will, is hitting the convenience store. It's Columbia, Maryland. Okay, that's where they were. Is because I've worked in 12 radio stations and 6 convenience stores. And convenience store work, actually, to this day, is one of the most dangerous gigs you could have. It's a very dangerous job, especially if you're working the graveyard shift. And we hope the clerk is going to be okay. But again, when I read this story late last night, the condition was serious. Well, she's shooting point blank at the guy who's running the cash register. It's a really creepy video. Anyway, God bless all the convenience store clerks. We're going to take a break, and then we'll talk to Jack Riccardi. Jack at 60 coming up. Right now, we were under a dense fog advisory, but looks like it's clearing up. Mostly cloudy and warm today with a thunderstorm later on. A high of 80, mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 69. Tomorrow, humid, cloudy, a high of 85. It is currently 66 degrees on Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Just cleared one of our trouble spots. This report sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That wreck at I-10 westbound approaching 1604, that has cleared. Still have this minor wreck 410 westbound Austin Highway off to the left shoulder. 281 northbound at Wurzbach, that stalls off to the right shoulder, and a stall at 410 eastbound Evers, shoulder blocked. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MADD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP, or visit MADD.org. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Trey Ware for Dr. Sally and everybody at Here in Texas. They'd love to see you, talk with you about your hearing, and possibly prescribe hearing aids for you to help you hear things you've never heard before. They really are amazing at Here, H-E-A-R, HereInTX.com.
In the 80s, fashion was rad and music was cool. But if your AC isn't cool, that's totally bogus. It's Martin Bamba from the KTSA Rockin' Home Show. For AC repair or a full install, call Right Home Services right now and get a complete AC install up to 3 tons for just $89.99. That's a limited time deal with serious savings. Right has the right team, the right price, and the right stuff. Call Right Home Services at 210-444-0000. They bring the cool.
The right stuff.
Hi, this is Taylor with Patriot Dryer Vent Cleaning. If your dryer is taking more than one cycle, that's a warning sign your vent may be clogged. Don't wait, this can be a serious fire hazard. Schedule your cleaning today at cleanmydryervent.org. That's cleanmydryervent.org.
The decision to retire is a big one. According to Jay Kirkwood, there's more to it than you think.
They've just kind of got it in their mind that, well, I'm 60 and the finances work, so I'm going to retire. That shouldn't be it. Like, there's some people that at 55, they're like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm going to retire. I'm super happy. There's other people we've got that are 70 that are working and they're like, I love it. I love going. Well, don't stop. If you love it, keep doing it.
For common sense advice on retirement, tune in to Clear Skies Retirement, Sundays at noon, right here on KTSA.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon?
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Ben Adams Jewelers is going out of business after 56 years. Everything must go. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus take an extra 10% off. Prices have never been lower. Hurry in before it's too late.
Stay on top of the latest news wherever you are. Stream KTSA on the go. This is News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 107.1.
News Talk 550 KTSA FM 107.1. It's Ware and Rima. Trey is off this week. He'll be back on Monday. You can check out his videos on KTSA.com. And coming up at 10:05, we have Jack and 60. Jack Riccardi joins us now. And, we were talking yesterday. I've heard you say this a number of times, that in Iran we're dealing with bad guys, this Revolutionary Guard guys, the real zealots, the true believers. We're dealing with people who are willing to play the long game. Whatever that means, because people will get tired of war, and they'll get tired of Iran, they'll get tired of Trump. What were your thoughts when you heard yesterday afternoon about the extension of this ceasefire?
Well, it happened while we were on the air, and I kind of didn't have it all together, but as I thought about it overnight, let's repeat the part about these are the worst people, these are the hardest, hardliners that are left, that are still alive, because you had to be that way to still be alive in that regime. But the other thing I'm thinking about is we have always had them described to us as fanatics, right? So you can't expect the application of military destruction and pressure and impending doom. Like, that only works on a rational
That's a great point.
regime.
Yeah.
That's why other countries at this point are coming to the surrender table and full dress uniform and wearing their swords and signing the documents with a big feather pen, because they're rational. They want a future for themselves. They don't want to die. They want the country to go on. They figure out, well, maybe we can rebuild it. That's not who these people are. So we should assume that the harder we go on them, the more dug in they will be.
Yeah.
Remember, we had to pull what was his name? Saddam. We had to pull him out of a hole in the ground, and he wasn't even one of these. He was more of a grifter,
right?
Corrupt,
not a true believer.
But I mean, even he was like hiding in the ground.
Right. No, I mean, it's a fair point. You can't bring obviously bringing military pressure to bear is not going to work on an irrational mind. It doesn't really give a crap if they, you said yesterday, these are like desperate people, desperate animals at this point. Why wouldn't they dig in? A rational person would obviously react to this. What do you think about that?
I don't know how it ends. I don't have the answer for that. I think we have to know that what we're doing, while it may be the right thing, isn't going to have the normal effect.
What do you think about the UK hooking up with France today, and they're having a meeting with several other European countries to kind of talk about what to do about the Strait? They're a little late to the game,
They should
aren't
form
they?
a North Atlantic Treaty Organization, I think, and it sounds like it would be a good idea for has anybody thought of that?
Like NATO, like a NATO type thing, like something like that. Maybe they can pull that out today.
Off the top of my head, yeah.
I got to ask you this real quick as we wrap up. The indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center, and I mean, I've known about. Obviously, they pop up in the news all the time, and they're fighting the evils of racism and unfairness and all that stuff. And we find out allegedly that they've been funneling money millions of dollars to the Nazis, to the Aryan nations, to the KKK. I've never
it's a good
had
business model.
I was going to say,
if you're fighting racism, you got to make sure there's racism. So
where
keep
you guys
it going.
Hey, where are you guys got there in Fort? Where are you guys going to be doing where are you going to be burning crosses this weekend so we can make sure we're there? And we got a retainer check for you.
Isn't this the whole? I don't know if you brought this up or not, so forgive me if I'm repeating it, but wasn't this the whole premise of Biden's presidential campaign? Didn't he say he wasn't going to run until Charlottesville happened and good people on both sides? So it turns out we didn't need Biden in his dementia and addled autopen status because that was all not true. That was all astroturfed.
Wasn't there an investigation into the poverty center under his? There was a proposed investigation during his term, and they put the kibosh on it and shut it down.
At one time that was a noble endeavor,
right?
55 years ago, but obviously at some point it got corrupt, and like everything the left takes over, they just run through like I don't know, locusts in a field. They just eat everything, destroy everything, and take institutions that were great and destroy them. And this is another one.
They're like a rot in that sense. And the one thing that I've said a few times is that it seems like the very people that they claim to be fighting for, whoever they are, whatever community they're trying to lift up and balance the scales for, tend to be the people that they either destroy or rip off the most.
Well, it was like, I'm sure you guys played it too, but like yesterday we were talking about the whole thing with Pete Buttigieg and that lady that was crying at his town hall. A decent person would have stopped her in the middle of that question and said, you don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen. But he let her go, and then he milked it for all it was worth. And that, in a nutshell, is who they are.
Right. Absolutely, they are. And obviously, Jack's going to be talking more about the ceasefire and all that stuff coming up on Jack in 60. And, brother, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you to Elaine and James and Don Cooper and Christian Blood again. We had some fog this morning, but it seems to have burned off, and now it's just going to be sticky and humid. And hopefully the rain is going to be wrapping up today. Again, we're on the website, KTSA.com. Trey has been posting videos every day this week, so even though he's off, you can still check out what he thinks about the issues of the day by going to the website. And I got some new videos. Jack's got a bunch of videos. And we're content, man. We're pumping it out, man. So check out the website, KTSA.com. And I guess that's going to wrap it for us here at on the Ware and Rima show. It's like, I'll just keep going. Look at me trying to get out of here quick. You see that, Don? My ass is trying to get out of here on a Wednesday as quickly as possible. In large measure so I can get home and watch the news because, again, it's probably going to be an eventful day, as every day this week has been.